Ay, señorita, nadie sabía lo que iba a pasar. Solamente fuiste y me dejaste solito en la eternidad. Señora, ay, señorita, yo sé que ahora estás lejos de mí. Siempre estoy pensando lo que estás haciendo y si te sientes más feliz. Te sientes más feliz, oye. Y espero yo que no te sientas sola y que tu vida está llena de felicidad, porque deseo que nadie tenga que sentirse ahora mismo como yo, atrapado en la oscuridad, solito en la eternidad, solito en la eternidad, oye. Trompeta. Saxofón con Piker. Toca. Sola y que tu vida está llena de felicidad, porque deseo que nadie tenga que sentirse ahora mismo como yo, atrapado en la oscuridad y solito en la eternidad. Ay, señora, vuélvete acá, vuélvete. Ay, señora, ya se fue.
Ya se fue. Y'all can hear me, right? How we doing? Oh shit. Yo. What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing incredibly well. How is everybody? Are we going to do the learning resources Trump analysis? So I did the majority opinion. But we'll do the concurrences and dissents. But I just wanted to real quick. I heard that there was some sort of like discussion between some people who are, sort of famous. And let me full screen this. How do I do this? Oh, right there. Perfect. And it really is important for me to take a look at this video. Estoy intentando mejorar mis jugadas, pero yeah, like the thing about Spanish is it's a very rule-based language in a way that English is not. And it's much more consistent than English. So the rules, the different cases and tenses and stuff, it's very consistent. Subjunctive tense. I mean, there's some exceptions, but yeah. Good point. All right. So, folks, I don't know if you heard about this, but Adam Mockler is like one of the best lib content creators we have. And I haven't actually watched this debate yet. I'm just expecting ruthlessness because Hasan Piker, is what we call in the business a communist. He's anti-liberal. He uses liberal as a slur. And of course, that means he is our political enemy. He's not in our coalition. And so Adam, I expect, will expose this. Okay? So I haven't watched this. This is my first time watching this. And we're just going to react cold reaction to Adam Mockler eviscerating Hasan Piker. Okay? We're just gonna watch this real.
Can you hear me?
Yo, what's up? Yeah.
Oh, you can turn on your camera? Oh yeah, you are. All right, perfect. Can you see me as well?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Already off like to a horrible start, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
This guy's
Let me
supposedly a
pop you out
professional
real
streamer.
quick. Let me not show myself on my end. And then do one of these. Boom. Adam Mockler, everybody, from Midas Touch. Not in the building, but hold on. Let me see where wait, that's not the right.
That's not
place.
what you called me the other day. You had a different name. You called me Mock Lib.
I said it right now too.
A little weird.
Right before.
Okay.
But I also said Adam Mockler.
Okay, I like.
Went on the CNN panel, Adam Mockler. Here he is known as Adam Mog Lib.
I think what he's doing right now is like he's just setting up the audience to think he's friendly to put Hasan on the defensive. So this is really smart strat, in my opinion, from Adam.
That's fine.
Hold on. Where the? I'm trying to get the scene right real quick. Oh, boom. There it is. Okay, fixed it. Perfect. All right, Adam. Welcome to the broadcast. I think we're going to have a wonderful and productive conversation, even though I know that there's a lot of people on Twitter that hail
Already poisoning the well.
you as their debate champion, and they're like, it's finally time. It's finally time to fucking destroy Hasan in the marketplace of ideas. I don't know if that'll happen, but wait, is there audio echo?
Adam seems unfazed by this. This is bad faith already from Hasan. He's structuring the notion of a debate lord, or what he terms debate schmetophilia, and pretending that like Adam is somehow lesser than him just because he enjoys debate. So already bad faith.
Chat, is that what's going on? Oh yeah, you're hearing me a little bit, I think, from your end.
Let me fix that.
Yeah, and I'll also up your
okay,
volume as well.
1 sec. Yeah, it's a few things. Let me make sure you can hear me correctly.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
I cranked you
I want
up.
this to be a productive conversation. I want to make sure we can make some progress because I think we're all united in one goal of beating fascism at the end of the day.
What the fuck? Wait a second. Whoa. That's weird.
And
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I cranked you
I
up.
want this to be a productive conversation. I want to make sure we can make some progress because I think we're all united in one goal of beating fascism.
My God. He doesn't know. He doesn't fucking know. He doesn't know that Hasan is not on our team. Let me just write this down so next time I talk to Adam, I'll give him some tips like this.
Let me make sure you can hear me correctly.
What did he say here?
Hear you.
Yeah,
I cranked
I
you
want
up.
this to be a productive conversation.
Productive.
I want to make sure we can make some progress because I think we're all united in
We're
one goal
all
of beating fascism at the end of the day.
in one
And
goal.
I'm not here to shame
We're
anybody
all
for
united
voting-
in one goal. He's not here. Anybody. All right. I'm writing down these quotes. These are just like notes because I understand that he's like trying to build a rapport here, but it's actually super, super important for the audience to know that Hasan is not on our team. He is not part of our coalition. And the thing that you're supposed to do when you get invited to these kinds of platforms is to utterly embarrass and destroy the other side. Okay? The goal actually is to shame.
one way or not voting one way. I honestly don't even think you guys
Wait.
are all united in one goal of beating fascism at the end of the day. And I'm not here to shame anybody for voting one way or not
voting one way
I honestly
or
don't
not
even think
voting
you guys
one
all
way.
have to line up behind Gavin Newsom 2 years before the fucking primary.
Wait, what the fuck? He thinks it's ridiculous to get commitments to vote for Newsom if he's the nominee. You guys hear that?
We're 2 years out ahead of the primary. We have an exciting ideological battle coming up.
These motherfuckers aren't interested in supporting the eventual nominee. They just want to promote their own candidate. So I don't know why you would grant that it's ridiculous to get commitments to vote for Newsom if he's the nominee. That quote, he's not here to shame anyone for voting one way or not voting one way. That quote, we're all united in one goal. This is crazy.
So I'm not asking you to like jump up and down for Gavin Newsom. However, I do want to talk about your response to Jennifer Welch on that podcast because I do have some thoughts. And I think I can bring a pretty good faith version of what a lot of people on Twitter are trying to say, but kind of getting muddled in. But yeah, we're going to agree on a lot regarding criticism of the Democratic Party, probably where the Democratic Party needs to go.
What? Weird quote. Let's just make sure we get this quote right.
Agree a lot. I do want to talk about your response to Jennifer Welch on that podcast because I do have some thoughts. And I think I can bring a pretty good faith version of what a lot of people on Twitter are trying to say, but kind of getting muddled in. But yeah, we're going to agree on a lot.
We're going to agree on a lot.
Probably where the Democratic Party needs to go. We'll agree
in terms of criticism of the Democratic Party. And where the party needs to go. Huh. All right, I'm just going to, every time there's a new quote, I'm just going to state them out loud. We're all united in one goal. He's not here to shame anybody. This is Adam for voting one way or not voting one way. It's ridiculous to get commitments to vote for Newsom if he's the nominee. Quote, we're going to agree on a lot in terms of criticism of the Democratic Party and where the party needs to go. So you agree with communism? I don't really understand why we would concede all this at the start. It seems like it's pretty fucked up.
a lot. I'm very disillusioned with the Democratic Party as well, but I think there's some good faith criticism.
You should never. This is not a real conversation. This is not a real debate. This is just not a real debate. He's disillusioned by the part. Don't ever give any of these loser tanky fucks any concession in front of them.
That you approach that question or the way that you talk about this, but
yeah. If you want to know what my positions are, and I think you're already pretty familiar with my positions. I know that like you've probably heard me speak on these issues for years and years at this point. But my primary goal, especially in the interim, especially in the short term, is the defeat of fascism. I believe that the Republican Party is...
you don't. No, you don't actually believe in this because you just want another form of fascism. It's called Stalinism. It's called Mao. That's why you're a crypto-fascist. You're the same exact thing as MAGA. You brought forth MAGA, and so you're exactly the same. You don't have the same goal. And these people shouldn't be treated like they have the same goal. I don't know why Adam isn't like speaking up right now. If maybe Hasan has some like dirt on him or something, or maybe he's got like weird... I don't even know.
An illiberal party, a post-liberal party, whatever you want to call it. And I think unlike... the historic inception of fascism as a revolutionary movement at a time when liberalism was failing only 100 years ago. This time, we have two liberal parties in America. Like as a political theory, we have two liberal parties, right? Like we say conservative, whatever, but like technically the Republicans are also a liberal party.
Yep.
And
am I LARPing right now? Wait, are you serious? Wait, Kalinda. Just to be clear, Kalinda, you think that you agree with Adam that we're all united in one goal, that he's not here to shame anybody for voting one way or voting another, that it's ridiculous to get commitments from Newsom if he's the nominee, that we're going to agree a lot on terms of criticism of the Democratic Party and where the party needs to go, and that he should be conceding that he's disillusioned with the Democratic Party in front of Hasan. I just want to make sure, Kalinda, do you agree with all of what Adam said there? Kalinda. This is just for Kalinda. Those are all things that Adam said. And you're going to pretend that you're okay with that? Because we'll have Kalinda on right now just to discuss those points. It's been a minute in this discussion, and we've already had 5 concessions. Not entirely, but I wouldn't go as hard as you are. What the fuck? Why would you ever, as a liberal streamer, go in front of a tanky asshole anti-Semite like Hasan Piker, want a productive conversation as though it's possible with a bad faith hack? Quote, we're all united in one goal. You need to understand that he's a tanky. He's anti-liberal. They use liberal as a slur. Then Adam says he's not here to shame anyone for voting one way or not voting the other. And you're like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. What? You have no response, right? Kalinda, you have no response? You think that that's okay? That before any debate, you concede that we should have a productive conversation with a bad faith hack, that we're all united in one goal. Here, I'm quoting, right? This is, in fact, we can go right back to the beginning. We haven't even started the discussion, and he's already conceded he wants to have a productive conversation. We're all united in one goal. He's not here to shame anybody for voting one way or not voting one way, for voting one way or not voting one way. He thinks it's ridiculous to get commitments to vote for Newsom, and we're going to agree a lot in terms of criticism of the Democratic Party and where the party needs to go. Oh. Wait, no, I'm just asking you specifically. Isn't that fucked up that he would do this, Kalinda? That he would concede at the start like this? What? This isn't debate mode. What are you talking about? Wait, Usurp, can you, I just want you to join. You can call me, right? You want to call right now? I just want to get your view on those points. Just those points so far. This is my first time watching. Where's Usurp? I'm quoting. Okay. Well, all right. We'll go right back to the start and we'll see if I misrepresented anything of what I just said. That Kalinda and Usurp are now sweeping for Adam, who's sweeping for Hasan. Just keep that in mind.
Let me fix that.
Yeah, and I'll also up your volume as well.
So this is just to see if my quotations were fair and accurate.
1 sec. Yes, a few things. Let me make sure you can hear me correctly.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
I cranked
I
you
want
up.
this to be a productive conversation.
That was the first thing I said. He wants it to be a productive conversation. That was accurate. But Hasan is a bad faith piece of shit. He is incapable of having productive conversations. He only wants to embed himself within the Democratic Party. When he had a conversation with, what are these tanky fucks called? It's called the D something. Ooh, the D something. What is it called? The Distributist. No, something else. The Deprogram podcast. He said he was going to embed himself by hiding his views. And Adam wants to have a productive conversation with you. You need to know you're not going to have a productive conversation with someone who his only job is to defeat the Democratic Party. So that's number one. I wasn't wrong about that. He did say he wanted a productive conversation. That shows he's naive.
I want to make sure we can make.
Yeah, just call me on VC. And I'll call you. Usurp. Am I good to call? I just don't understand why he would start this way. But hang on, just make sure the rest of my quotes and representations are accurate. So, 1, productive.
Some progress because I think we're all united in one goal of beating.
He says we're all united, including Hasan. We're all united in one goal. His first statements are saying he wants to have a productive conversation and acknowledging and conceding that we're all on the same page. That is Adam sane washing Hasan. Do you understand how that's sane washing Hasan? He's conceding that we all share the same goal. I'm going to call you. Wait. This is actually really harmful. I'm calling you, Usurp. Yo, what up? Wait, can you hear me? Oh, shit. 1 second. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. 1 sec. How about now?
Can you hear me? I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
Not so well, man. My first time listening to this
what's
shit.
going on? I mean, listen, I didn't come in saying that you made any misrepresentation. Just seemed I turned on the stream. You just seemed hot and.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of hot because like Adam, he's like 10 or 20 seconds into this debate, and he's said that he wants to have a productive conversation with a bad face piece of shit hack, and that we're all united in one goal. I think he's like conceding the framing. He's conceding the framing that we're all on the same team, we're part of the same coalition, and he's sane washing Hasan. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I mean, I guess so in the way if you just wanted to do that, but can I give you a counter about?
Wait. When you say in a way,
I don't like.
What do you mean in a way?
Because I would only imagine, because you said it was the first 20 seconds, and I can imagine somebody coming in. I don't know if these guys have ever talked before, and I can just see you not wanting to come in swinging fists right away. You might want to come in, just being cordial, being polite, trying to see maybe you can have a normal conversation. But if I can understand if you don't, like, if you think that he doesn't deserve any of that credit at all, then I can see how you might think that.
I think he's already given up at the start because like we need to excise these people from our coalition. Like Hasan is why are you laughing?
because this is what I was asking this is what I meant when you came in hot. It just seems that, I don't know, the conversation you had with Hutch the other day, you just seem different today.
I don't know how you mean. In the conversation with Hutch, I never made it like even close to the impression that I thought Hasan was on the same team. I said he was mostly bad faith. I said he was illiberal.
Yes.
And so I was very clear.
I'm not saying you're doing
I was very
that.
clear in our conversation.
You were talking nice to him.
Okay.
I wasn't saying you were like glazing him, but you weren't like this. And I think if you don't know what I mean when I do this, then you're just...
Because I view Hutch as an ally, part of the coalition. And I think he just has a wrong impression of me, that I would support someone like Hasan. So that doesn't really get me animated, because I'm just trying to basically have good communication with him. The reason I was hot is because Adam is literally washing a tanky. And so like, I'm nice with Hutch because he's part of the coalition, and I'm trying to convince him that I am part of the coalition. And I'm more hot when I hear a liberal try to sane wash Hasan and concede that we're all going towards the same goal when we're very clearly not.
Can I ask are you changing your method in what you're doing it now? Like, are you saying that now you're acting a little hotter?
No, I've always been hot against tanky fucks like Hasan. I've always said that they're not part of the team. Yeah, I've always said that.
Yeah, I think you've always said that they haven't necessarily been part of the team, but I also think that like, while you haven't been like glazing them or supporting them or even agreeing with a lot of their ideas, you've kind of given them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, like ish, not even like in a bad way, but you're a nicer guy when you have these conversations. Like necessarily, like when you go up against a person like Rob Noor, yeah, you're going to go at his throat because he's a MAGA conservative and they're disgusting creatures and they're so obviously not on our side. But I think that you had almost a thought of, you know what, these guys might be farther left than us. They might actually be communist and they might actually want some crazy stuff. But you know what? The enemy of the enemy is my friend. And my real enemy over there, MAGA, is so bad that I'll even attempt to be cordial with people on the left, further left than me. And I think that's what you were doing before. So I guess like,
even if I were to concede that,
now is even bad.
Even if I were to concede that, which I don't concede, even if I were, that's what Adam's doing here in a much more sympathetic and sane-washy way that I even could be ever accused of. I would never do this concession that we're all towards the same goal of Hasan fucking Piker.
Well,
but I got criticized by people for how I went. And so this is even worse, even if you believe them, than that. And so I know this can't be.
Again, I think it's different even when it's the first 20 seconds of the conversation, especially if you don't know how the rest goes, because maybe after the 5-minute mark, it's a bloodbath.
Well,
I'm just... You don't know that yet.
Well, I just want to know, like, if he were ever to say something like, I don't know, that he doesn't even consider it bad that Hasan didn't endorse Kamala, he doesn't hold it against him. If he were to ever say something like that, I mean, that would be the most sane washy fucking.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't just be that. I mean, no, this isn't. This isn't a real debate. Can you admit that? They're not really having a conversation right now.
I don't think Adam. I don't even know if Adam came in as a debate, because even like he was calm the entire time. Because I've watched it. I didn't watch all of it, or like I was doing other stuff when I was listening to it. But even like Hasan at one point said like, hey, you're like brought up like, oh, you're bringing up a debate bro strategy. When I think for the most time, Adam was just trying to have a quiet, cordial conversation. I think maybe his strategy.
No. You can't. No. You can't have a quiet conversation with these people. You need to go in there and make them know that they're not welcome in our coalition. It would be like trying to go into the MAGA space and just glaze them and be like, it's okay that you voted for Trump. It's not okay.
Well, could you have a conversation with somebody that you disagree with in a way that you're acting calm, and by you acting calm and just asking kind of the same questions over and over again, it ends up making the other person look bad anyway, even though you weren't confrontational and hostile during the conversation?
I'm not so sure about that.
Wait, really?
I don't really think that can happen.
Explain that.
Well, remember, I made this mistake with the Vanguard, a week or two ago, where I was nice or whatever, and I just kept asking about if they would support the Democratic Party, and I realized that was sane washing some tanky fucks who are the enemy. All these people are the enemy, and so I've been convinced by people like just like random people, whoever, that's not good.
Like who?
So no, just like random people.
People, okay. I mean, listen, I think listen, I think everybody knows you're trolling, and I understand why you're doing this. You're having like an extreme reaction to the conversations that you've been having.
An extreme reaction.
I do think it's
this
weird.
is an extreme reaction. What is it? What are you talking about? It's an extreme
reaction compared to your normal stream personality. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, come on, dude.
I legit don't know what you're
talking about.
So he starts off the debate. Sorry, it's not a real debate. This isn't even a conversation.
Do you want to we can go through this debate? And
yeah, sure, let's do it. Yeah. It's not a real conversation though. I just want you to know that. Can you admit it's not a real conversation?
Well, you haven't watched it yet. How would you know?
No. Well, so far I can already tell it's not a real debate. This isn't a debate.
Oh, did somebody watch it? Someone.
Wait.
No, okay.
This isn't a real debate.
How will I do this? Can you share your screen in
Discord? 100%. Yeah, I can do that. Right. And I'll just share my screen. But I just want you to admit it's not a real debate. Okay.
We'll say. We'll make a determination at the end. Like I said, I was like cleaning the house when I was listening to this earlier, so I wasn't giving it my full and undivided attention.
All right. Well, this is full undivided. Just all right. Ready?
Yeah. Let me just make sure the audio is going through.
Yeah.
Fascism at the end of
the day. Is it coming through?
And I'm not here to shame anybody for voting one way or not voting one way. I honestly don't even.
Oh, actually, let me see if I can turn up.
Yeah. Try doing that because it's at max.
Stream.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But this isn't a real debate. It's not even a conversation. This isn't happening. It's not actually a conversation. No one's actually having a conversation right now.
Okay. Let's try that.
Mm-hmm. How about now? I'll put it at 1.25.
Gavin Newsom 2
what?
Years before the fucking.
Wait, did you hear that?
We're 2 years out ahead of the primary.
No, honestly,
so he's
for voting one conversation. I want to make sure we can make some progress.
Where in the settings can I go in here to actually just
so go to
output?
So if you go right click on the stream, so click in this area where my name is, and then right click on that.
Yeah, stream volume. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna bump it up there. Here. All right, can you play it? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I think we're all united in one goal of beating
money.
Fascism
Okay,
at the end
perfect.
Of the day.
All right,
Sorry,
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I
want this to be a productive conversation. I want to make sure we can make some progress because I think we're all united in one goal of beating fascism at the end of the day. And I'm not
he shouldn't.
Can
I just agree with that? He shouldn't have said that at the start, right? Yes or no?
He shouldn't have said we're all in it together to defeat fascism.
Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. Correct? Because it's wrong. It's a lie. So he shouldn't say it. You agree it's wrong, right? Because we don't have the same goal, so it's untrue. Correct?
Well, I guess.
Is it untrue? Yes or
no?
not?
That right now.
No. I'm asking if the statement is true.
Yes.
The statement is true. Wait, so Hasan and Mockler have the same goal?
Hasan's end political goal wouldn't necessarily be fascism. So yeah, right now their goal would be to unite to defeat fascism. And in Hasan's ideal world, after that fact, then he would then defeat the liberals to get communism and Maoism or Stalinism, whatever he wants, whatever his flavor of the month is.
So you wouldn't have a problem with me saying that Hasan and I share the same goal of ending fascism? If I were to say that, you wouldn't have a problem with that?
No, I guess it wouldn't, but I think the conversation goes a little bit deeper than that.
Well, I just mean that statement in isolation, correct?
Yeah, in isolation, but actions aren't in isolation.
Yes, of course. I totally agree.
For voting one way or not voting one way.
I don't like that concession either. So he said he's not here to shame people for voting one way or the other. Shouldn't he be shaming people? Why isn't that like bad?
Yeah, I would disagree with him on that one. Yeah.
Okay, so that's horrible.
Honestly, don't even think you guys all have to line up behind Gavin Newsom 2 years before the fucking primary.
That's fucked up. He's saying he's pre-surrendering.
No, that is 100% normal. Yeah, no, it's normal.
Wait, it's normal?
No one was saying that. Yeah, no one was saying that Hasan needed to get behind Gavin Newsom now. He was asked in a hypothetical election when it was J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom.
Oh, so you think this comment is just for the primary?
Wait, what?
So you think the comment about we don't need to line up to support Gavin Newsom, you think that he said that just with respect to the primary, not the general?
I think he said that as in like, hey, we haven't gone through the primary process right yet, so we don't need everybody to get behind this one individual.
Ooh, that is ultra good faith. That is, do you understand how fucked up this is? Because it's ultra good faith. You're trying to find any way to even conceivably, slightly be good faith about how he's interpreting the statement in the most fucking charitable way possible. But when, other people say shit.
Yo, Pisco, calm down.
What are you
talking about? When this guy, why did he bring up this question? Why did he make that statement at him there?
He's clearly referencing. You have to be a fucking idiot. He's clearly referencing the fucking whole controversy, obviously.
The Jennifer Welsh one? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
What was the question that Jennifer Welsh asked?
Yeah, if they won the primary, obviously.
Yeah. So why would he say you don't have to get behind him now?
Yeah, because he's trying to give him cover and sweep for his answer there. That's what he's trying to do. He might ask some questions later on, but he's already given away the score.
Actually thinks that, hey, you're allowed to promote and support anybody through the Democratic primary.
Right, but the context is but the context here is Hasan has already said that he won't after the general. And so by saying this, it makes it appear to a neutral audience that he's okay with Hasan's broader outlook on Gavin Newsom, and that he's okay with all the slander and bullshit that on a daily basis Hasan Piker will spread about Gavin Newsom. So the framing, no. The framing is obviously is sane washing Hasan's overall outlook on Gavin Newsom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you don't agree
on this one, but
wait. Yeah. So you wouldn't have a problem with me like going and saying, you know, I'm not asking you to line up to support Gavin Newsom. That's an okay thing to say?
Yeah.
So far,
you support anybody. However, at the end of the day, when it's on election day on November 4th, 5th, whatever it is this year, you're goddamn right. If it is Gavin Newsom, you stand behind him.
Okay. Well, hopefully he'll get that concession in this video.
Well, I mean, that's what he's probably going to try to do. I hope, because that was the big thing with the Jennifer Welch.
Well, I would hope that he would ask the hypothetical again, right? If he doesn't, that would be like horrible.
I mean, he's what, fucking 22? He's a kid.
Wait, are we doing this whole Michael?
No, I'm just saying, you're almost acting like if it. No, hold on, Pisco. Stop.
He's a kid.
Stop. He's just a fucking kid, man. You know what? But are you seriously trying to say that every conversation needs to be perfect?
You really think?
Because I feel like that's what you're trying to
imply here. I want you to try to steal my position. I want you to try to steal my position. Just steal my position. You really think I said that?
Yeah, I did.
No, I'm not obviously saying that. I'm obviously saying that the main
Well, that's what you're coming off as, man. That's why I said you're being so hot.
No, I'm not hot at all. I'm just mad because he's trying to fucking embed himself in the party. And Adam, who's on Midas Touch, one of the biggest liberal streamers, is basically giving at least some optical cover for Hasan Piker and approaching this in a friendly manner. And in that sense, at least the framing you'd agree is sane washing. The very fact that he's here and it's not hostile.
How far are we in so far?
We're about 10 seconds in.
Okay. I think that proves my point more than anything. But
why? Wait, why does that prove your point?
Because this is obviously all for show. Like, we all know that this isn't what you're actually upset about. You're upset about other things, and I don't know what you're talking about. Like so you think I shouldn't be upset? Wait, I shouldn't be upset when like someone sane washes a tanky fuck? Well, no, you should be. But we all realize that it was conversations you've had earlier this week that are leading you to act like this in the show.
I don't know what you mean.
It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. But
are you telling me that I shouldn't like update how I approach these conversations in response to suggestions about how light I'm going on tankies?
You could, but there's also something called like overcorrection.
You think I've overcorrected so far by calling out him saying we have the same goal?
Yeah, I would say right now you are overcorrecting. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I'm a happy medium.
All right. Yeah. So, and Adam right now is doing excellent, right?
I've watched like 15 seconds, dude.
Okay.
How the hell am I going to judge his performance off that?
Primary. We have an exciting ideological battle coming up. So I'm not asking you to like jump up and down for Gavin Newsom. However, I do want to talk about your response to Jennifer Welch on that podcast.
I think this is good. I think we can agree on that. This is good. He's like, he's approaching it.
You have some thoughts. And I think I
trying
can
to bring it back to like the big thing
version of what a lot of people on Twitter are trying to say, but kind of getting muddled in. But yeah, we're going to agree on a lot regarding criticism.
No, it's not getting muddled. Like I hate this. He's already pre-apologizing for liberal commentators who are in Hasan's replies. I think it's fucking stupid. I think it is
getting muddled a little bit. Like I can just think of one muddle from this conversation, which was hey, would you support him would you support Gavin Newsom against JD Vance in the election? And he said no. And now other people defending Hasan are saying, hey, everyone wants us to line up behind Gavin Newsom right now, and it's 2 years away. I think that's part of the muddling of this conversation. And I think that's a part of all the conversations we've been having politically for on the left and the right. We just can't have honest conversations with anybody about anything. And that's part of the problem. Anyway.
I don't think that it's good framing for us to apologize for liberal commentators who are all pretty much, we all know that they're pretty much disgusted by the same thing. We all know that. And for Adam to hear it, like apologize and be like, it's getting muddled. No, the people who are doing the muddling
an apology or just an admission or just no, it's describing what's happening.
It's assuming responsibility when the muddling is being done by these tanky loser fucks who can't answer a fucking question and keep trying to change the subject.
How do you apologize just by acknowledging it?
Because
by acknowledging that it's happening.
He's pretending as though the fault is the messaging of the liberals.
Can you?
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely can. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Look at how he says this.
Coming up. So I'm not asking you to like jump up and down for Gavin Newsom. However, I do want to talk about your response to Jennifer Welch on that podcast because I do have some thoughts and I think I can bring a pretty good faith version of what a lot of people on Twitter are trying to say, but kind of
they're trying to say it, right? As in they're failing. They're trying to say it, but they're not doing a good job of it.
Okay, yeah.
And then look,
that's a troll one.
And then it's getting muddled. No, absolutely no. He's saying liberals are like trying to explain something to you as though they're doing a bad job of it. That's obviously what he's saying. Obviously.
No, you're off.
You don't agree with that?
Your radar is off.
What do you think he's saying there? That it's just like an honest mistake?
He's trying to accurately describe the situation that's happening on Twitter over the past week.
You don't think it's by and large tanky motherfuckers trying to deflect and change the subject? You think it's liberals who are not being accurate and calibrated?
No, I think everyone is probably being a little bit wacky, but I do think the tankies are worse, obviously. But
okay, so why not mention that?
Because again, he's in the very beginning of the conversation. He said he's trying to come into it in good faith. And
I think that's showing the big mistake.
One part about being good faith is actually coming in willing to have a conversation.
Wait, why would you ever be good faith to Hasan when he has showed consistently he'll just lie? He'll lie about his positions. There's no point being good faith about his arguments.
Because some people are just built to yell at Hasan all day, every day, and treat him like a dog. Other people are better suited to go in and have conversations like this, where maybe Adam is able to get a couple people who are watching Hasan. They'll watch this whole conversation, see how weaselly and slimy Hasan was in this during this debate.
What you think Hasan getting a blowjob from Adam Mockler and Adam being super nice is going to win him over respect and fans? No, they think you're weak. Obviously,
the blowjob comment, like you said you haven't watched this, so how are you saying that?
Well, I suspect it just based on the introduction here.
And okay.
Regarding criticism of the Democratic Party, probably where the Democratic Party needs to go, we'll agree a lot.
He says he agrees with a lot of Hasan's criticism of Democrats. He has the most unhinged criticism of Democrats, and he agrees with Hasan on where Democrats need to go. You're okay with that? Okay. Are you okay with that?
Dumb comment. Yeah, that was a dumb comment.
No, that's like fucked up, right?
Calm down, dude.
Wait. What do you mean calm down?
I know you're doing a good job. Listen, I know you're having fun, like doing this, but if you admit it, it would be much better.
Wait. Hang on a second. I just want to make sure that we understand what he just said. Yeah. He just said, I agree with a lot of your criticism.
Let him say it.
Yeah. Just make sure.
However, I do want to talk about your response to Jennifer Welch on that podcast because I do have some thoughts, and I think I can bring a pretty good faith version of what a lot of people on Twitter are trying to say, but kind of getting muddled in. But we're going to agree on a lot regarding criticism of the Democratic Party.
Wow.
Probably where the Democratic Party needs to go. We'll agree a
lot. Do you think the Democratic Party is
criticism? No, but he's saying he'll agree with Hasan's criticisms of the Democrats. That's unhinged.
He can have
he's sweeping so fucking hard.
Too far?
Wait, Hasan? No, it's bad faith. Hasan doesn't want the Democratic Party to do well. He's a saboteur. He works for MAGA. Why would you agree with Hasan's criticism of the Democratic Party and where it needs to go? Wait, do you not agree with that? Okay. Why are you laughing?
No, I think that he can have disagreements and those disagreements can actually line in with reality. Let's say that he says that Joe Biden should have stepped out earlier.
What?
I would agree with that.
You understand why they wanted Joe Biden to step out, right?
Yeah, so they can
It's because they called him Genocide Joe. It's because they called him Genocide Joe. Yeah. Obviously. Right?
And why else would he want that? What else was wrong with him?
Well, no, that's they wouldn't care.
What else is wrong with him?
No, they don't care about winning. They just want their own candidates installed, and they don't give a fuck. No, they don't give a fuck about electoralism.
What else was wrong with Biden in the lead up to the election?
Well, obviously they'll agree he's old, but that's just a way to get him to drop out because of Gaza. If he were old and senile and leftist,
trying to focus in on the other thing. So
no, I'm just
Adam
saying.
Says
why would you agree
on Joe Biden stepping out? Now, the reason they want to step out could be two different things, but they both agree that he should have stepped down earlier, and that maybe either would, in Adam's mind, give Kamala a better chance of winning, or in Hasan's mind, maybe, I don't know, Bernie Sanders or AOC have a better chance of winning.
This is so ultra charitable. You would never give this good faith to someone like Hutch.
To someone like Hutch? You
would never be this good faith to someone like Hutch.
What? I've never spoken to Hutch, but I would probably be good faith to most people.
No, not like this. You are fucking contorting so fucking hard. to be nice to Hasan and to get in his good graces.
Okay, dude. Go ahead.
But no, I'm just saying, it's not just, even if I were to grant that, backwards facing, there's good criticisms. He says, I agree with you probably on where the party needs to go. That's crazy.
Okay. Again,
do you agree? Isn't that crazy?
I think we should. Why don't we listen to?
No, wait. I just want
to
actually
just stop.
Wait. I just want to make sure we're having a real conversation because I don't even know if this is a conversation. If this is like, are we actually having a conversation?
That's coming next. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want to know that we're having a conversation. Do you agree that this is like a crazy thing to say?
No, not in
context. Okay.
Not in the context of this conversation, especially where we are in the conversation right now.
All right. Shit.
Party as well, but I think there's some good faith criticisms of the way that you approach that question or the way that you talk about this. But
yeah. If you want to know
Wait,
what my positions are.
15?
Yeah.
Kind of getting muddled in. But yeah, we're going to agree on a lot regarding criticism of the Democratic Party, probably where the Democratic Party needs to go. We'll agree a lot. I'm very disillusioned with the Democratic Party as well. But I think there's some good faith criticisms of the way that you approach that question or the way that you talk about this. But.
Yeah. If you want to know what my positions,
I feel like
at the very end there, he said he disagrees with a lot of the things he's having in the conversation. So,
I mean, I get that, but I think when you start by sort of having the common ground as though we're part of the same side, it kind of detracts a little bit.
Is it doing that, or just being like being nice to somebody you're talking to for the first time?
I think he's creating
just like how you would be nice, like you had like cordial conversations with Rob Noor.
That's, I think, different. I think my audience, you think my audience seriously is in any danger of falling to Rob Noor's wits? My audience knows that. When I have a conversation with Rob Noor, or if I were hypothetically to have a conversation with like Myron Gaines or something, my audience knows that that's not good. So it's different.
Wait, does your audience not know?
Are you really trying to compare? Are you really trying to compare Rob Noor?
No, I'm just saying you can have cordial conversations.
Are you really trying to do this right now?
No, I'm trying to say that you can have cordial conversations with people you disagree vehemently with.
Well, if you know your audience isn't going to be fucking captured by tanky fucks.
Do you think that for your audience?
Obviously not, because I guard them against them by criticizing people like Adam, who sweep.
Okay. But before this,
you think I support communism or Maoism or Marxist-Leninism?
No, but I like this. Your attitude and your demeanor now is different. This is the first time I think you've come into a stream, at least the one that I've caught, where you've been like this, been this
like
hard.
What?
I'm not going to answer that because it's insulting.
This hard on communists?
Yeah.
I'm going way harder than Mockler is. You agree with that, right? Like before I said that Hasan was bad
this faith. Is the hardest you've ever gone. Like you're like putting on a show of it, right?
Well, I don't know that I'm putting on a show. I think that I'm just doing what any good liberal would do, which is to call out people who are creating a permission structure to interact with an illiberal person who fundamentally wants to destroy liberal democracy. And that's what Adam is doing. He's creating a permission structure for that.
Okay, but again, so I guess the only reason you do that with right-wing people is because you're not worried that your audience
of course,
would be at risk.
Obviously. Yes,
okay.
Obviously.
Okay, so if you were in without an audience, you would say this conversation is fine.
Yes, because there's no danger, and my audience knows where I stand on Rob Noor. They know that.
And do you think there's danger for Mockler's audience?
Actually, yes. Obviously.
Why? I don't think so. I think
because his audience is going to get the impression that Hasan is just a little bit to the left of Adam Mockler when he's not. He's something else.
How do you know? Again, we're only 40 seconds in.
Well, I just assume that that's how the conversation is going to go.
Really? Why?
Because of how it started.
Okay.
And I think you're already pretty familiar with my positions. I know that like you've probably heard me speak on these issues for years and years at this point. But my primary goal, especially in the interim, especially in the short term, is the defeat of fascism. I believe that the Republican Party is an illiberal party, a post-liberal party, whatever you want to call it. And I think unlike the historic inception of fascism as a revolutionary movement at a time when liberalism was failing only 100 years ago, this time we have two liberal parties in America. Like as a political theory, we have two liberal parties, right? Like we say conservative, whatever, but like technically the Republicans are also a liberal party. And now the Republican,
not MAGA.
Yeah, the Republican Party is historically a liberal party, but is now turning away from liberalism and becoming an illiberal party, a post-liberal party, and turning into a fascist.
You're just letting him yap for this long. It's crazy.
Party. I warned about
Yeah,
the first Trump
a lot
election.
in this conversation. I think that was one of the big things that Adam did wrong in this conversation.
Huge mistake.
But it might have been just because I actually don't know how big of an audience Adam Mockler usually gets.
He's on CNN. Yeah, he's on CNN. He's one of the biggest.
Well, I mean, like when he's
liberal
online
content creators.
streaming.
Okay.
Do you know?
I don't know, man. I mean, thousands.
Okay.
As well, I warned about the proto-fascist nature of Donald Trump. I thought that it was important to make that distinction. I didn't say that Trump, like season 1 of Donald Trump was fully fascist, but season 2 of Donald Trump is. And I think it's important to make that distinction as well, because like you can see the difference, right? Like there was a lot of naked corruption, a lot of things that were going on in the first Trump administration, but the second Trump administration has been so brazen, so obvious, and it's not like they've hidden that reality at all, especially when they were running to become the president, when they were running through the.
He's letting him yap more. This is like when I talk to counterpoints, and he just starts yapping.
Yeah, right. And he just starts yapping. All of a sudden, you fall asleep, and he's talking about Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
In the 2024 election season. So my primary goal is to defeat that completely. Yeah. And obviously, I also want to build socialism.
And then right now, do you agree that Hasan has his skin suit on?
100%, yeah, obviously. And Adam is not exposing it. Instead, he's having a polite conversation and letting Hasan skinwalk as though he is one of us when he's not.
So I guess if Adam were to go on, like, hammer in the same question 3 times in a row, and Hasan obviously didn't answer, Hasan tries to do a skin suit dance, and it kind of like blows up in his face, you would consider that a good strat by Adam, right?
Well, I think that you need to be super aggressive with these people, so it's better than the strat he's doing. Is it optimal?
Wait, every single person needs to be aggressive? There aren't different methods of clowning on people?
I think largely yes. I think we're at that point yet.
I don't think you believe that.
I think largely yes. I actually do think that. Yeah, we need to ostracize these people. Need to be like know that they can't be around us at protests and shit. I think that's pretty.
But there's different ways you can do it. Like you can have a guy.
No, they're not welcome.
Like, Giga Chad. This is standing over top of somebody yelling at them, and then you can have the group of girls who like laugh at that kid every single time and destroy his self-esteem. Like there's different ways to bring people down.
This is making it seem like
I think
Hasan
other people are better
welcome.
at it too.
This is making it seem like he's
Adam
welcome.
Is that much of like I don't know if Adam's much of like a hostile guy. I don't think I've ever seen him.
But
like
then he shouldn't. Then he just shouldn't do these debates. Then he's just not.
No, but he can be able. He can do it in his own different way. There's other ways to put people down and make them look stupid.
You think that's Adam's goal? You think this is Adam's goal to make Hasan look stupid? I don't think that. If that were his
shows up.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's where it's going. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
To build a working class movement, and I don't think these two goals are at odds with one another. I think both historically.
By the way, if for some random reason the stream starts cutting out, that's not my stream. If this were to happen sometime, I don't know because I haven't seen it yet. But if this were to start happening, don't worry. It will likely be. Not that I know for sure, but it was 99% be the other stream.
Wait, what?
And also,
I'm saying if it starts cutting out, it will. I haven't seen this yet, but if it were to, it would be the stream. It wouldn't be my streaming to you. Does that make sense? If it were to do that.
Got it. Sorry. Yeah. Took me a second.
General, I believe that the evolution away from the liberal system that we exist under that is now failing for the second time around and making way for fascism, the only solution out of that is to build a working class based organized socialist movement. But yeah, those are my two main points.
I mean, I guess I want to ask you, do you think it would be meaningfully easier to build this working class socialist based movement in a liberal society or an illiberal society?
Oh, historically speaking, most likely an illiberal society. At least historically speaking, socialist and communist movements have unfortunately.
So I think that's good what Adam just did right there. I think it's good that he got Hasan to admit that in order for him to get where he wants to go, we need to destroy liberalism. And I think that's great.
He's saying
that's
historically,
an absolutely insane comment.
Wait a second. Okay, so I would agree that's good if he is able to follow up and say that that's what Hasan wants. Because unless he does that, then it seems like all he's doing is getting Hasan to yap about history. But if Hasan is able to get No, I disagree. I think that Hasan realizing that that's how you want to get to his end goal,
that is a step that is necessary to get to socialism.
He didn't say that. He said what would be easier, and he said historically it would be illiberal. That's what he said. He hasn't said that that's what Hasan would want. That's the necessary thing that Adam needs.
But the funny thing is, okay, how about this? If Hasan doesn't give away to do it without liberalism, or without removing liberalism and getting into an illiberal society, would you think that's good? All right, let's see if he does.
No. If he says that he wants liberalism and that he is a good socialist, Adam needs to challenge him on that. Like Hasan before has said that he supports re-education camps. He has said before that he's a Marxist-Leninist. And so he can't get away with saying washing Hasan by letting it go unrebutted that what Hasan's preference is liberal communism, because that's not what he wants. And what I will define
liberal communism's an oxymoron.
What I will define as success is if he challenges Hasan, if Hasan says something like, I would want liberalism. But if he doesn't do that, then he's failed. Okay? We'll just make sure about that.
Illiberal society.
Oh, historically speaking, most likely an illiberal society. At least historically speaking, socialist and communist movements have unfortunately only been successful.
Unfortunately. Did you hear that?
Yeah, because Hasan doesn't actually want to he lives too comfy of a life. That's why he said that.
Wait,
he's
so
like,
you're saying
no, I wouldn't be able to get my Gucci. Fuck.
Wait, so do you think that Hasan? I'm so confused, Usurp.
How so?
Does Hasan want to end liberalism because he's a Marxist-Leninist, or does he want to maintain it because he wants his Gucci bag?
He understands that historically, that is how you get there.
But which does he want? Does he want the end of liberalism?
We haven't gotten to that part of the conversation yet.
No, I'm asking you based on your impression.
I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. I got to listen to him talk.
Wait, why would you need to listen to him? He's lying. He just likes to lie. Why are you laughing?
Hit play.
Material conditions have worsened. I don't want that to happen though.
Yeah, right. He just said he doesn't want illiberalism.
Well, he doesn't want it to happen again because then he won't be able to charge his car.
Wait, so you agree that he doesn't want the end of liberalism? That he's a liberal?
No, I think he doesn't want to have to go through the hard part to get to where he wants to go.
So
like he's not willing to suffer
he's not to
achieve his end political goal. Well, because maybe other people will. And he can motivate those people in a way. Yeah. That can be seen as a threat.
But you don't actually think that he wants to tear down the liberal order because he thrives in it?
Nah, he would always be on the sidelines.
Interesting. Okay.
He'd move to another country and keep doing this thing.
Got it.
Sorry.
An appropriate thing to move towards. I don't think that that's good for people. I think it's very violent.
He thinks it's bad to move from illiberalism. All right. Okay. Well, I guess that's a good thing that Adam got him to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Violent and very deadly. I don't want the material conditions to deteriorate.
And you believe him? You think that he doesn't want the material conditions to deteriorate?
Selfishly, yes.
Okay.
But if you're asking me, like, honestly, from a historical perspective, no,
I'm basically asking. I'm basically just asking if we get to a 2028 and like, I guess we can get into the hypothetical of Newsom versus Vance, but it's not even about that. They're kind of just stand-ins. I don't even want to concede who our nominee is going to be 2 years ahead, but I think there would be a meaningful difference in building a pro-labor movement under a JD Vance presidency, which would be much, much harder, versus a Gavin Newsom presidency. I mean, JD Vance's entire career has been trying to step on top of workers. He wants to.
I agree.
He endorsed Project 2025, which literally wants to bring
He agrees.
child labor laws back to 1938. He's fundamentally illiberal and doesn't want to let you organize. I mean, like, a lack of organization is part of not living in a liberal society, right? They will squash that. They will kill communists. They will kill socialists. That's what they did in other fascist societies. They killed socialists and communists. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom, however insufficient you may think he is, and this is not an endorsement of Gavin Newsom, I'm just trying to illustrate my points of, the different realities we could enter. However insufficient you think Gavin Newsom is, he would allow for...
If this conversation were happening in isolation, I would think this is like so awesome from Adam. Right?
Mm-hmm. Why? What do you like about it?
Because if I knew that Hasan wasn't a bad faith loser fuck, I would really enjoy that Adam and him are like agreeing on some base principles like liberalism, like that Vance is worse than Newsom. I think those are all like very effective messages. If I felt his audience weren't poisoned by tanky fucks and that he himself weren't trying to embed himself to poison our movement, then I would obviously take issue with this sane washing framing and the sane washing permission structure that Adam is imposing on all of us.
Okay.
A really strong labor movement.
You agree?
He would allow for you guys to.
I still like the way that Adam approached this conversation. He could have done better at it, but I wouldn't necessarily say that like what you just described automatically makes it bad. Again, like I said, there are many different ways that you can approach conversations. There are many different ways you can clown on people, and Adam chose his own way.
Or build bridges. I think he's building a bridge with Hasan. Do you agree?
No.
Well, at the end of the
I think
conversation,
maybe he's
if
trying
it
to
were
build
happen,
a bridge to, if anything, that bridge is a passenger bridge for his audience to come over to Adam's side.
Oh, no, because I suspect at the end of this conversation, based on how it started, that Adam will say, let's follow up at the end and let's like get together in LA. I assume that that's what he's saying based on how it started.
Maybe.
And that would be building a bridge, wouldn't it, if he did say that?
No, not necessarily. What if the next conversation he comes in, he lulls Hasan in with a false sense of security, and then he comes in and fucking brings the hammer down? Wouldn't that be fucking cinema, Kino?
Yeah, but I just don't trust that he's not just going to have another blowjob fest.
Why not, man? He's on CNN. He's good. He's up there debating professionals. He knows how to do it better than anyone.
Maybe.
At least
listen. He is just a kid, but you gotta
he's
have faith in the kid.
He's a kid. Isn't he 20?
Let's
see. How old?
20. I'm gonna guess. 22. It's gonna be like 19. I'm gonna be even more depressed.
My guy is 23.
God damn it. Well, Price is Right rules. I didn't go over.
Practically a toddler.
Yeah, right? He doesn't even have a fully developed brain yet.
Communicate with you guys.
First of all, I don't even think you guys. I think you're a part of this as well. You're not against like
go back.
organizing labor movement.
Here, do you mind? Sorry.
Societies. They killed socialists and communists. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom, however insufficient you may think he is, and this is not an endorsement of Gavin Newsom, I'm just trying to illustrate my points of, the different realities we could enter. However insufficient you think Gavin Newsom is, he would allow for a really strong labor movement. He would allow for you guys to at least, organize, and he would probably communicate with you guys.
First of all, I don't even think you guys. I think you're a part of this as well. You're not against like organizing a labor movement.
He says, yeah. Did you hear what that just happened there? Wait, no, I don't want to go on.
Keep playing.
Because you're a part of it too. He's expressing solidarity with Hasan. You disagree?
Yes.
How? How could you possibly disagree that wasn't an expression of solidarity when Adam said yes to what Hasan just said?
What do you mean by what was he agreeing in solidarity to?
To the nature of tamping down on protests and labor rights.
Recognize different realities we could enter.
That's
However,
what the right is doing.
Insufficient you think Gavin Newsom is, he would allow for a really strong labor movement. He would allow for you guys to at least organize, and he would.
You guys organize.
Communicate with you guys.
First of all, I don't.
With you guys,
true.
and
Gavin
then he says,
is a liberal.
You guys organize, and then listen to what Hasan says. Right? Listen to what Hasan says.
I don't even think you guys. I think you're a part of this as well.
I don't think you guys. I think you're a part of it as well. And Adam says,
yes, he is saying. So wait, Hasan was saying, I don't think it's just us. Gavin Newsom would help even people like you, Adam, organize, unlike somebody like Vance would. Vance would stop that. That is what he's saying yes to.
No, what he's saying
Adam
here.
is saying yes.
Have you seen High School Musical? Have you seen High School Musical?
No.
All right, there's a song at the end. It goes, "We're all in this together." That's what Hasan is trying to push Adam towards. He's saying it's not just us, you guys, it's you too. And Adam says yes. He's expressing solidarity that we're in this together. We're in the same boat. That is obviously.
Well, I think we're under the same threat of a Vance presidency. That is what they're in it together in.
Sure about that?
And see, this is why I think that you're not actually approaching this in good faith, man.
You sure about that?
Because I think, I do. If you follow the conversation, a little bit.
Organizing labor movement, right? But
No,
also, also, can you crank up your volume a little bit on your end? Because I maxed it out, but people still are having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good. As far as like what's better rooms for organizing, it's not even a necessary part of this discussion because I know that
it is.
The reason why I'm saying it's not a necessary part of this discussion is because given the option between Gavin Newsom and JD Vance, I'm not saying that Gavin Newsom is going to be a situation that.
This isn't me, by the way. Not that I know that.
Oh, that's just like the downloaded stream. Got it.
JD Vance.
Actually, no. I think that was actually his live stream. Like, it was all jacked up. He was pissed.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. This is my first time watching.
Yeah. Hey.
With, in theory, the harm reduction narratives.
Sneaky snake.
My argument is always around doing away with harm reduction narratives because the harm reduction narrative has led to 2 spectacular failures thus far, both in 2016 and also in 2020. And as far as like playing hardball,
he means 2024. Doesn't even correct him. Agreed.
Yeah, he did not correct him on the date. You're right.
Yeah.
We should kick
with
Adam
Democrats who don't want to listen, who still want to hold on and maintain this like harm reduction narrative, who still say that they want to appeal to this like mythical moderate voter, who's outside of who isn't a normal Democratic Party voter, like these guys that they want to turn to the Democratic Party. I'm willing to play hardball with them and say, like, look, I'll hold my vote back. But the reality of the matter is, if you're asking me sincerely, like, do you think that Gavin Newsom is going to be better than JD Vance? Of course. I mean, this is not something just like Kamala Harris is objectively going to be better than Donald Trump.
Oh
God, I fucking hate Hasan.
You know what? I'm gonna admit when I'm wrong. I didn't think Hasan would say this. I didn't fucking think he'd say this shit.
You don't think it'd be this fucking?
I don't trust it though. I don't fucking trust it.
Talk to me. Tell me what you're feeling.
Because why didn't he say this during the campaign?
Because he's in a skin suit now. Because he's trying to get some of
Yes.
He's putting on his snaky little skin.
Yes.
His snaky little skin. And
Yes.
I think Adam's going to do a very good job proving to his fans that he is wearing that skin suit like Buffalo Bill.
Yep. I totally agree. Well, I don't think that Adam will do it because I think Adam I think Adam will sweep and let him off. I suspect based on the start of conversation.
The miscommunication.
And he's just letting him yap and interrupt him.
Yeah. I think there was actually, I think he spoke in large part there's a chart. He spoke like 80 minutes to 40 minutes, basically.
There's a chart?
Yeah, I think I.
Who creates such charts?
I don't know. I actually asked the person who made it how he did it, and I get fucking ghosted.
Oh.
Hands at that point, because that was the second part that I mentioned. It's openly out of my hands at that point, and there's no way for me to overcome the way that the party is communicating what they want to do, and the fact that a lot of people hear that and immediately go, "Oh, this guy, he wants the Republicans to win." I don't.
You believe that? I think Hasan does better for money when Republicans win. And I think he knows that, and I think he's being intentionally obtuse.
Yes.
What do you think he's being? But you would use those terms. Intentionally
obtuse?
Not
obtuse. I don't know if I would use like obtuse. I think it's just being like
you don't think he's being intentionally obtuse? Like Hasan knows what he's doing right now. He knows. He's being intentionally obtuse.
It's more deception. Yeah, I guess if obtuse works in that way, that's not usually how I think
he's being intentionally obtuse. He's being obtuse about it. I think he's being obtuse.
Yeah, I don't think you want the Republicans to win. I don't think that at all. And here's where we agree on, actually. So I keep hearing you say that you don't want Democrats to run on the harm reduction narrative in 2028. And I totally effing agree. If we're running on a harm reduction narrative in 2028, we have failed.
He agrees. So I'm just saying he does agree.
He agrees that we can't just be doing harm reduction.
And I know that we might agree with
that.
It's
a sensible take.
No, I agree it's a sensible take. But when he says I agree, I agree like that, I don't think that's good. I really just don't think that's.
Do you think that anybody who's been talking to you the past couple of days would levy that same criticism to you?
Who the fuck do you think you are?
You, sir.
Coming on my stream, telling me such such terrible things, such horrible framing, and taking me in bad faith.
I'm not taking you bad faith, Pisco. You know I love you. That's why I was wondering. I turned on the stream. I was listening to that beautiful salsa music. I was excited. I saw you didn't have the glasses on, the sunglasses. I was like, all right, maybe he's chill mode. Because usually that is like,
I'm
going to Danger Zone stream. Danger Zone stream. Nothing wrong with Danger Zone stream.
Wait. You don't think I have a medical condition for that? So you assume I'm being bad faith when I put on sunglasses?
Oh, I'm not going to. No, I wasn't saying it wasn't bad faith. Danger Zone is just like, hey, we're being spicy today, like making jokes. But I didn't know you had a medical condition. I didn't mean to insinuate anything. I'm sorry.
Okay. Sorry. For a second, I thought you were being purposely obtuse.
Massive.
Oh, no.
An exciting.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying, oh, no.
Forward-looking message that can turn out not only our base, but Americans who have been struggling. We need to have something.
Thank you guys for the memberships. I really do appreciate it. Like, fuck. I need to start banning some of these people who are giving me money because I suspect some of them are Hasan viewers.
That is a criticism people I've been levying.
What? I mean, what do you think about that criticism? Someone tweeted me and I was trying to get them on and
see, as it's difficult because I'm obviously not in that position. I don't have an audience and I don't have like a weird financial incentive. Not to say that your situation is weird. I just don't. I've never experienced it before.
Well, do you think I should ban people who are like
both sides?
Who are mean to like Hutch, for example?
Mean. It depends on what level, right? Because like you can be mean by saying like, "Oh, Hutch, what's up, Baldy?" I don't think you should ban anybody for
people
that.
Who are like saying
but
that Hutch is bad faith, Hutch sucks, Hutch, all that stuff. Should I ban those people?
That would just depend on your and his relationship.
No, I'm asking you what I should do.
If I'll say I'll put myself in your shoes just so you can understand how I would feel. Like if I was friends with Hutch and I thought like, oh man, like, me and him go way back. He's one of my good friends. Even if it was like someone in real life, if I had like a new friend who kept talking shit about my old friend, I'd probably stop talking to that person. It would just depend on whose relationship you enjoy more.
Well,
or what matters more to you? Like
I think Hutch's
friendship
and our love for each other goes deeper than like what commenters say, and I assume that because he hasn't banned everyone in his chat who hates me.
Okay, that's a fair criticism.
So I'm just gonna ask the question: should Hutch ban all the people who are mean to me in his chat?
Again, it would depend on. I would need an example.
I'm asking you the fucking question, bitch.
And then I'm telling you, I need a fucking example.
Well,
because again, it could be like, hey, Pisco's in debate.
Are you being intentionally obtuse right now? Are you being purposely obtuse? That you really think that if we don't go to Hutch's latest video on me, that the top comments aren't going to be Pisco's lost it, Pisco sweeps for Tankies? You really think that?
Can we go to that? If we go to that, I'll tell you which ones I would ban.
Fine.
I'll tell you. Let's do that.
Fine, let's do it.
But it could be like the pisser's coming, and I'm not. You could be considered that mean.
Whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Fuck.
You're being such a Becky right now.
You know what? You're being so intentionally. It's just weird. It's just really weird. I don't know if like you getting money from someone or something.
You on
Bro,
Monday.
I wish.
Really?
Okay, so all right.
Pisco is not your boy.
Pisco fall from grace. Pisco's brain is broken. He's lying. He's not your boy. He's deliberately lying. Some bridges are okay to burn. He doesn't understand the definition of unreasonable. Pisco's getting paid by Hasan.
Okay, that one's a little sketchy.
He seems catty. It's time to halt the bridge. He has a brilliant mind for law, but not for politics. It is Scorpion and Frog situation with Pisco. When Pisco says, "You're my boy," he adds, "I'm a Catholic priest." Pisco's so desperate. These are unhinged comments. They're obsessed. They're obsessed with me. Pisco's either dishonest or just incredibly inept socially. Pisco's a snake. I never liked Pisco. Gotta love Pisco's performative theater. Where are all the people who are like complaining about my moderation? Who are shitting on Hutch? Where's that? There's so many snarkers.
Do you think that these comments are like the same level of harshness and meanness that is happening?
He's a piece of shit.
I also think isn't it also a little weird?
He's becoming the left wing.
I think one of the things I think that makes people frustrated was the fact that a lot of these comments are coming. The ones going against Hutch are coming in a podcast called Lib and Learn, and a lot of people seem to feel like it's weird that a liberal podcast, one of the few liberal podcasts on YouTube or Twitch, is kind of being like controlled by a little bit of like tanky lefty comment sections.
Well, this is Pisco snarkers, right? They're controlled by Pisco snarkers. These are all controlled by Pisco snarkers.
But I think what's different about the other one is that these guys these lefties, these tankies are infecting a liberal podcast, one of the few ones, like, and they're taking over the comment section of this one liberal podcast. And it just seems that that shouldn't be the case. There should be one place where liberals should be able to get together and talk about liberal shit. And it seems
so should I ban non-liberals from the chat? Should I ban MAGA from the chat?
You know what? There's a difference.
Should I?
Because
well, what's the difference?
No, the difference is that I don't think anybody's confused about who's going to be like. No one from a Lib and Learn, any Hutch fan or Josiah fan or IRI fan is going to go MAGA. But if the lefties come in and these
as though that's never happened,
slowly infiltrate,
as though that's never happened.
And these now you are being bad faith.
Wait, why is that bad faith?
Because you're trying to imply that there's the same probability to both of those happening.
I don't fucking know. You're saying I should ideologically ban.
You don't know?
I don't know.
So you think it's just as likely that an IRI fan will turn into a MAGA?
I don't know.
Than they would a socialist. Okay.
I'm not sure because listen to me. To be honest, I just want to know who to ban. Should I ban? I shouldn't ban people who are just mean to Hutch, right? That's not enough.
Again, define mean. Calling him ugly? No, I don't think you should ban him for that.
What about people who say that he's bad faith? If he's
calling him like a shit lib,
what about people who say he's bad faith?
Shit lib,
what about people who say he's bad faith?
Supporter.
I should ban that.
Bad faith? It would depend. If it's constant, yes. If it's one-off in one conversation because he thinks Hutch made a comment.
Pretty uniform. I mean, have you even bothered to look at Hutch's chat when it's live?
15 minutes in and Pisco is already unbearable.
The thing is,
look at the Republican Party. Pisco is a piece of shit. Nothing more, nothing less. Destiny made Pisco and he ditched him. Pisco is becoming left.
It's pretty snarky, man. It's pretty obsessed.
It is
pretty obsessed, yeah. I would say.
But you know what? I think that Hutch is pretty upset right now, so that's probably why he's letting some of these through.
You think? Or maybe I'm not bitch made, and I've never been like, please delete the comments that are mean to me. Please do that.
Did he do that?
He never did that because I don't think Hutch is bitch made.
Oh, okay. Well, then who are we talking about?
Well, I don't know. The people who say that I should moderate people who are mean to Hutch.
And who's saying that?
Well, some people are saying it. You acknowledge that. You were saying it. You're saying I should moderate more, right? Or are you saying I should moderate more or not?
When did I say that?
Oh, so you don't have a view on whether I should moderate more?
Honestly, I haven't watched it.
Do you not have a view? You don't have a view?
I do not have a view. I have not seen enough. I haven't been in enough chats, so I can't say. But I do think the one thing I have seen, because like one show I like to actually watch is Lib and Learn, because it's nice to have a liberal podcast. And it is weird watching like these people who are self-admitted tankies in there all the time. It's really fucking weird. I don't understand. Like honestly, if you're a self-ascribed,
I don't know what do you mean by weird.
I don't think you should be allowed.
Maybe because I don't ban people because they're socialists or communists. Because I don't ban people for their ideology. I ban people who break rules.
That's it.
Yeah. If you spam,
that's how you want to moderate.
You are against,
that's how you want to moderate your shit.
That's how I always moderate shit. We have MAGA people in my community, and I don't ban just because you disagree with me.
MAGA isn't an infection that slowly comes in and co-ops and usurps communities.
The language needs to be uniform. If they're like that, then how are you so soft on this man? Fucking Adam Mockler. You're like, it's an infection.
We had 3 minutes of this conversation.
And he's being nice. And you're like, he's absolutely being so affable and nice. And on the other hand, you're like, it's a cancer.
All right, we're going to test. We're going to test and see if you're either listening and can answer what I said earlier. Why did I say that Adam being nice in this conversation could be an effective strategy?
Presumably because you think you get more sugar with honey, and you think actually not like trying to make people feel bad, not like ostracizing them, for example, banning. Maybe you'll be able to convince them more if you're not a shitbag to them.
There was one other thing I said.
Maybe I forgot that.
So what I was thinking is that there are different ways that you can make people look silly, make people look bad, make people look like they're a fool. You can sometimes go in and absolutely mog them. You can shit on them, yell at them. There are people that are really good at that. And then there are other people who are really good at staying calm no matter what's happening in a conversation and drilling a point again and again. And I think that can be just as effective.
Sounds like a double standard. How do you know I'm not doing that in my chat? I do call out lefties in the chat all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Do you have any, like,
100%?
Some examples?
Yes. This one guy, oh my God, where is he in the chat? He, in response to the ogre conversation, direful pot. I called him out specifically in the chat. I told him to come up. That's not the only person. You guys know this. I called out Ogre Boy in the chat. I've called out plenty of lefties saying dumb shit in the chat before.
I've seen you talk shit on
100%. Everyone who is a lefty in the chat will acknowledge that I do that 100%. And anyone who claims otherwise is fucking lying or doesn't watch the stream all the fucking time.
Really? All the time?
Yes.
Or do you think it's only been like a couple times recently based on the pushback?
No. If I see something that triggers me, I call it out. I'm not a worm.
Triggers you? Okay, that's different. Something can trigger you, but
lefties trigger me.
I was curious about
lefties trigger me. MAGA triggers me.
What was you had a podcast a few months ago? What was her name?
Aaron. Gatorade.
Aaron. She was.
I yelled at her.
Describe tanky commie, right?
No. See, this is you're listening to a false narrative. A tanky I take to be a Marxist-Leninist. She's a liberal.
I thought I might be mistaken. I could have sworn I saw or heard a video of her saying that she's like, oh, so you're a communist, and she's like,
yeah, this is a Destiny lie, because Destiny said Marxist-Leninist in the conversation. I know she was a communist, and then he acted like it was a huge own in bad faith. It was like, wait,
oh, I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Destiny
you were
said
fed a lie. Yes, exactly.
No, stop that. You said
you absolutely were. Yes.
Wait, do you actually want to get 100%. To a point in this conversation where we're both understanding each other?
Yeah, no. So if you go to my Twitter account, I put out a debunking thread where the term was clearly.
Can you link it to me?
100% I can. Yes, I can.
Because you said that. Wait, you said Destiny called her a Marxist-Leninist.
Correct.
But you called her a communist, and that's not the same?
No. He pressed on Marxist-Leninist. I knew she was a communist already, and she's not a Marxist-Leninist. She's a self-avowed communist. That's what happened.
Oh, and you don't think a communist and a Marxist-Leninist is one and the same?
They're not, by definition.
What do you think discerns the two?
A commitment to the tenets of Marxist-Leninism doesn't entail a commitment to the broader outlook of communism. Marxist-Leninism is defined by a vanguard party, by an authoritarian tendencies, anti-liberal tendencies, and communism need not include that. For example, you have anarcho-communists and other kind of utopian people. So it's just definitionally true.
Wouldn't there still need to be some in any communist society, one that has actually been tried before?
No, that's not how this shit works. That's not how this shit works.
Wait, what?
If the definitions
hypotheticals?
Sorry, if analytically they're different, that is to say, if their definitions are different, then they're different, correct?
In practice?
No, that's not the question. Is it your contention?
But that's reality.
Okay, so on your view, are anarcho-communists Marxist-Leninists, even if they reject Marxist-Leninism?
I don't know enough about anarcho-communism. But I know that in every piece of in every deployment of communism that has happened so far on planet Earth, they've been basically Marxist-Leninist. They've shared, I would say, an 80% overlap.
In virtue of what? Who told you that?
In virtue of the authoritarianism, in virtue of the single party rule, in virtue of controlled economy.
Well, just because even if I were to grant that every communist regime turned into a Marxist-Leninist regime, even if I were to grant that wouldn't prove that Aaron is a Marxist-Leninist, correct? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Even if it were the case that every regime that was communist turned into a Marxist-Leninist society, that wouldn't prove that Aaron is a Marxist-Leninist, correct? Yes or no?
I think that most people, when they say communist, they think...
You can just answer it.
No, then repeat the question one more time.
I just sent you the link of the debunking thread.
Okay. Debunking thread. You can... Oh, shit. My thing's so small here. No, but I think Marxist-Leninist and communist is two sides of the same coin. I think when anybody says that, that's what they mean. And I think if you're trying to make the claim otherwise, and you're just being pedantic.
Well, let me just ask you this then. Accountable, you would agree is a Marxist-Leninist then on that view?
I actually don't know anything about it.
Oh my God! Wait. Well, he calls himself a socialist.
Oh, if he does that, then well, no, because you could be somebody can call themselves a socialist and they can mean in their own mind, I'm a sock dem. That's why these words are fucking stupid. So I have no idea. I would need to see a video of the Boy being I am a Marxist-Leninist or a hardcore communist, and I'd be like, yeah, he's probably a Marxist-Leninist. Yeah.
Oh wait. So just being a socialist doesn't mean you're a communist?
No, because I don't know what they mean when they say socialist.
Um,
Usually when someone says communist and someone like Aaron said that, I think even Aaron, after she said, yeah, I'm communist, like I believe in XYZ. Again, I can't remember exactly what she said, but maybe it's in here. Here, can I read this, this tweet that you sent me?
Yeah.
I love the bad face smear that pretends that I didn't know Aaron was a communist when what we were discussing was whether she was specifically a Marxist-Leninist in a convo about whether all socialist communists are MLs or Tankies. Desperate cope, many other clips of this.
And it's me.
Just many examples of me acknowledging that Aaron is a communist, including like recently.
It's like, who the fuck knows if they're socialists or not?
Engaged, it's bad faith. So you think that, so you're saying that just because she's a communist, she isn't a Marxist-Leninist.
Correct.
Even though that's what basically everybody uses those words interchangeably.
No, they don't.
About it.
No one.
Can you find people who don't?
Yes.
I feel like you're the only one who doesn't.
No, that's not true. Wait, do you really think that everyone flattens the definition of communism to include
when like people online in our age range in this type of community in America? Yes.
You understand that there are like internal fights between Marxist-Leninist communists and other kinds of communists. In just take the example again. I keep coming back to this: the Spanish Civil War. There was the POUM militia that was killed by the Stalinist party militia on the side of the Republicans. They killed each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Trotskyist, Luxemburgist style militia that rejected Stalinism, and the Stalinists killed POUM members of the POUM. POUM was
communists are really good at killing each other.
Yeah, they're really different. They're different, right? Because they're different.
Now, what did I say that we were talking about?
Oh my God!
Well, I wasn't talking about the people in the Spanish Civil War. I was talking about people having these conversations online in 2025, 2026. People like Aaron, when they're saying these things, they just conflate the two. It's all one and the same. I don't understand why you're having to go back to the Spanish Civil War.
Well, just to show that analytically the definitions are different. Are you granting that, or are you suggesting that
there's different factions within it, and those factions might kill each other, but it could be about power struggle.
So wait, wait,
power struggle, not ideology.
Well, but
it could be just I want to actually lead this party.
No, but it is about ideology. There are ideological differences.
Yeah, but guess what? We're not talking about that here in 2026.
We are. Wait, no.
We're not.
If a person says to you,
these conversations aren't happening, Pisco, you know that.
What do you mean they were? That's the context of the conversation.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Listen to this. Hang on. I'm going to show you I'm going to put the thread up here and to show you how bad faith this was. How much of a fucking lie this was. And
can we go? How about this? Can we go
through? Listen to it?
I want to listen to the original Destiny claim that upset you, that made you respond.
Wait, 100%. That's what I'm about to do right now. Hang on a second. 100%.
Not the nice kind, like is like, who the fuck knows if they're socialists or not? Half of them are, right?
Fuck.
Like unironically, not the nice kind, like a Econo boy, but the Marxist-Leninist kind, like your co-host.
Yeah. So wait, my co-host is Marxist-Leninist.
Here, can you
for Aaron is an ML? Yes, that's like we're
fucking years.
So the claim was Marxist-Leninist, not communist. And later he yells, he goes, "Oh my God! There's the clip saying she's a communist," because he's lying.
Like, can we start again, dude? Dude, slow down. Can we start again?
Well, this is the claim.
Blew out my ears.
is like, who the fuck knows if they're socialists or not? Half of them are, right? Like unironically, not the nice kind, like Econo boy, but the Marxist-Leninist kind, like your co-host.
So wait, my co-host
not
is
the nice one,
Marxist-Leninist?
like Econo boy.
For Aaron is an ML, yes. That's like where the audience's direction that they're going. Yes.
You understand that Aaron says she's not a Marxist-Leninist? Do you agree with that? That she's a
I don't identify people's. You know that.
And the clip he brought up after this was her claiming that she's a communist, and as though that were a contradictory, and he banding that around like it was a known. I mean, that's really bad
again, because communist is a Marxist-Leninist when you're talking about the online people who call themselves communists. Yes.
They're all the same thing, right?
Marxist-Leninists and communists are basically the same thing. Yeah,
basically,
they are. When they say they're communists, they say they're Marxist-Leninists. Yeah, online in these conversations. Absolutely.
I think that actually online there are a lot. So for example, Vosh is a Marxist-Leninist. You'd agree with that?
I have no idea. I haven't listened. I don't watch Vosh.
Convenient. You haven't watched Vosh. I mean,
no,
guys,
I don't have. Dude, I'm 35 years old. I got a full-time job. I got a wife. I don't have time to sit down and watch all this shit.
Well, listen, I can just tell you, as someone who has been in these political circles, there is plenty of self-ID, plenty of ideological difference, which is concrete. They're delusional for other reasons. They're, promoting systems that'll never work. They are shitty systems that I don't agree with. But in their mind, there's a difference between those. And to deny it is to be foolish. To say that practically we all speak about them in the same terms is just, well, why is there a different term then?
Okay, I will start to come towards your side in this if you can give me a good breakdown of the difference between the two.
Yeah,
what would
so
make,
I understand
what would
communism
make,
to be
Aaron different than someone who calls themselves a Marxist-Leninist.
I understand communism generally to be people who are devoted to workers seizing the means of production
abolition.
And a classless, stateless, moneyless society as an end goal. I understand Marxist-Leninists to have additional beliefs, and those additional beliefs include belief in a vanguard party, in that sort of hierarchical leadership, which isn't entailed by communism generally. And
can you? I need you to break down the difference between a vanguard party structure, and a communist party structure.
Well, hang on a second. That's
you
a
said
communist party. Yeah. So
how does the vanguard change? Like, how does that make it a difference?
So a communist need not embrace the notion that there's a central authority planning the communism, planning the economy. They need not be embraced to that notion.
Are you wait, are you talking about like the very fucking end stage that's impossible to ever get to? That Marx
I'm talking about I'm talking about the definitions as I understand them. One which entails a certain view on hierarchy and power, and one which doesn't. I'm talking about the definitions.
So all the so we've never had communism.
It depends what you mean by communism. As I understand it, the answer.
That's what I'm asking you. You seem to have a more solid definition of it in your head. That's why I'm asking.
I think we've had communist parties for sure. I think that whether or not
we've
had
have
communist
classes?
Countries. What's that?
Did they have classes?
Yeah.
And structure?
Yeah.
And so how's that different than the vanguard?
Well, because just because every communist country has had something that is like a party or internal structure or hierarchy, though query, there have been smaller communities in different places which haven't had that kind of structure before. But if we're talking about the major, but if we're talking about major countries, that doesn't disprove the point. Yeah, I can grant that every single communist country, has a single party rule or something approaching that if they're a communist country. That doesn't mean that the term Marxist-Leninist is inclusive of all communist people. Agreed? Yes or no?
No, not in conversations we're having online.
Nope. No. Okay, so people who are,
I think that, and you know what? The reason I think that is I think if you would to go ask anybody who thought that they were communists, or someone that called themselves a communist online, and you were like, "Tell me what makes you a communist and what makes you different than a Marxist-Leninist," they'd look at you like you had 3 fucking heads.
Huh? Wait, say that one more time.
Yeah, they wouldn't understand the difference because to them it's interchangeable. They use communist, and if someone said, "Hey, you're a Marxist-Leninist,"
not us
like,
though.
Fuck yeah, I love Lenin.
Not when we're having, like, if you were to ask counterpoints, you really think you would say that there's no ideological distinction?
No, but counterpoint's way more well read in this because that's his enemy, so he knows a lot about that.
I'm having a conversation with I'm having a conversation with people who are supposedly on a political circuit.
Yeah, just because they're on the political circuit doesn't mean they know shit. There's a lot of stupid fucking people I hear you talk to.
You think Destiny doesn't know the difference between those two things? Regardless of whether or not
no, I think he would probably be able to do it, but I think he would also say that they're basically
because there's a difference, right? Because they're not the same
thing.
They're not the same thing.
When
you're just saying that no one knows the difference between them. That's what you're saying. Oh, they're the same. When people are talking about, you mean the people who don't know the difference don't know the difference. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and nobody is talking about the difference, and anybody is a Marxist-Leninist.
Unless you do know the difference, right? Unless you do know the difference.
Yeah.
And if you do know the difference, then it would be bad faith to conflate them, correct? If you do know the difference,
go back.
Rewind. If you do answer the question, if you do know the difference, it would be bad faith to conflate them on purpose, correct? Yes or no?
If there was a difference and you knew it, it might be bad faith.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the context of what you're talking about.
And there is a difference to know, correct? It's not like there's no difference.
It's not actually. No, you haven't even proved the difference. I don't believe you.
Wait.
I need you to explain the difference, because all you've told me so far is something about a vanguard party, and it seems that every communist society that has been around in this country had some kind of party in it when you described Vanguard, it sounds like exactly like these communist societies that we've had. So you haven't explained to me the difference. So I can't even answer this question yet.
All right, I'm gonna take a big step back. Okay, I'm gonna take a big step back.
Okay.
Because I think there's a huge conceptual issue here, right? If I tell you unicorns are different than My Little Ponies, would you ever say, well, we've never seen a unicorn in real life and a My Little Pony in real life, so I don't even know where you're getting that from. You would never say that, right?
No, I never
Correct?
say that. But again, I don't know why. Can we just say?
I'll tell you what. No, I will.
A hypothetical here.
Yes, no, you
I
do.
feel like
no,
you.
you do.
I believe that you're unable to
sir.
actually give me
No,
the
sir.
distinction. That's why you're trying to go to this hypothetical.
No, hang on a second. No,
because you tried to do it earlier and you only gave me the Vanguard.
Stop. Hang on a second. Just chill for a second. We will get back to that. I'm not forgetting about it. This is to highlight.
I just think we don't need to.
Oh, sir. Oh, no.
We're wasting time. We're wasting time.
No, we do need to. The reason why? I do that example is to show you that merely because you don't see in history some difference in terms of how a concept is manifested, or as an incidental fact, every communist of import is a given way, doesn't mean that there can't be a conceptual distinction between two things. That makes sense?
Oh, there could be a conceptual distinction between two things, but none of those people that we're talking about care about the conceptual distinction.
Wait. Whether people care about a conceptual distinction isn't the same as about whether or not a conceptual distinction exists, correct? People caring about something, okay, so it's irrelevant. So here are the things I don't want to hear about this topic. Does anyone care about the distinction? Has any state in history ever adopted this model as distinct from another model?
Okay,
all
that's
we're talking
fine,
about.
But I think
so now we're just going to be crystal clear. So now we're just going to be crystal clear. So you're asked, what is the concept? So now I'm going to address it. Now that we have it, and now that we know what's off limits because it's not responsive, we know those are off limits. Okay. You asked, what's the conceptual distinction between Marxist-Leninism and communism? Right?
Yes, because you were describing that because you were saying that Erin said she's a communist, not a Marxist-Leninist, implying that there's a big difference between the two. You haven't.
Wait, no one's talking. No one is talking.
That's how we got here.
Stop. Oh, sir. Agreed that no one's talking about the magnitude of the difference. Correct. I didn't make any claim about.
No, we're just talking about the difference.
Okay, so it would be enough to show that communism is different than Marxist-Leninism by showing a difference in their definition. Correct. That would be enough to show it. Yes or no?
Yeah, just when you talk about definitions, not what people mean when they say it. There's a difference. And you know that, and you're being obtuse.
No, the meaning of a term is what I mean. That if the meanings of these two terms are different, then they're different. That's the tautology, right?
Yes. Again.
All right. So we're almost there. So if there's at least one conceptual distinction between these two, if I can prove at least one, I've proven they're different, correct? Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm now going to show you, I'm now going to provide to you a conceptual distinction between communism and Marxist-Leninism. In that, Marxist-Leninism is more narrow than communism in at least one way. And once I've done that, I would have shown that they're different, correct?
Yes, but then you haven't even gotten to the beginning of the original conversation yet. Then we have still a long way to go because we're going down this road for you to try to get some more information.
Communism writ large includes Marxist-Leninism. Marxist-Leninism, I understand, as people use the term in the field, whatever, in political theory, that it's a subset of communism. But what communism doesn't have as a necessary condition is the kind of vanguard party model of Marxist-Leninism in which there is centralized control over economic planning, production, that kind of stuff, similar to how Stalin operated his society.
Yep. And Mao and what was the guy's name?
Right.
So
because, Spain. In other words,
Franco,
Marxist-Leninism is more narrow. You grant it's more narrow than communism in that at least one distinction it entails, it requires this, then communism is by definition different than Marxist-Leninism, correct?
Yes. So, okay. How about this? Wait. Let me
Bingo,
repeat it
bango.
so I make sure I understand it.
Yeah.
Let me make sure. Can I repeat it so I can make sure I understand? So you're saying that the difference between something like an ML and a communist is that The MLs are a little bit more narrow focus. It's like it's a shoot under communism.
In that Marxism entails a type of political organization and power structure, which isn't entailed
calling like
by
a single
communism.
party state, a planned
Single
economy.
party state, planned economy, these kinds of things, which aren't necessary.
Are these things that Aaron would support?
No, he claims not to.
Okay. Do you have proof of her claiming that she doesn't support that?
Yes. I asked her. That's in the debunk.
Oh, you asked. Okay.
That's proof, right?
No.
Oh, so when Hasan mentions Marxist-Leninism, is that proof that he's a Marxist-Leninist?
Yeah, because he's actually, because everything he's done in his life has shown him to do that way. Everything that he's spoken about over the past 10 years has shown that same. Yeah.
It is insane. So an additional reason why I think that
I asked her.
Well, not just that. I mean, she espouses
I'm pretty sure.
support
Wait,
for
isn't there a video of her saying that she's like for all of those things?
No, there's not.
I could have sworn there was a video like that.
No, there's a video of her calling herself a communist, which I knew.
Trying to see if I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I swear there's a video. It's like, it was two guys asking. She's like, "Oh, I'm a communist." And she said in that video, and then she goes on to say, "Stop."
So this entire thing.
Listen. Stop. She said that like, "Oh, I am a communist. I believe in the abolition of X." And I don't remember exactly the terms that were said in it because I don't have a perfect memory. But if I give me 1 second. Hate my life. Can't find it. But go ahead. I thought I had the link. It was wrong.
I'm getting bored of the bit that I was doing. Like, yeah, obviously it was a bit. The whole point here is, I think that what Adam was doing, not wrong. Like, I think that Adam got worthwhile concessions here, and that he's more likely to have gotten like people to agree with him on the basis of his performance there. I thought Adam did remarkably well. I think it's cringe that people are like, "Oh my God, he's sweeping." Like, no, he's doing his job. And that doesn't mean that like Hasan can't also have some like silliness and fucked up shit that he said and that he isn't liberal fundamentally. I'm not saying any of that. But think about what it would have been like if I had done something similar to this. It would have been nonstop sweeping bullshit. And you know it, and everyone in the chat knows it, 100%. 100%, not even a question. And it's always like this, these massive double standards. To say nothing of the moderation debate, right? Where people are like, how do you let people criticize your co-host? Well, they let their chats criticize me. But yours are more unhinged. Well, how are they more unhinged? They're ascribing bad faith, the worst faith. That's what they do to me. Like, there's no difference. And can I say what I believe the difference is? Yeah, go for it.
When it's for example, Hutch's or IRI's chatters attacking you, they're liberal chatters in a liberal podcast from liberal host attacking somebody that they believe is trying to sneak, or their audience is sneaking in tanky, lefty, disgusting bullshit
and they're wrong
into this liberal podcast.
Yeah, and you know what?
So you don't think you have any tankies or far left people in your chat?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But it's as though I'm doing that. I'm not doing that. No. What you're wrong about is that there's not a double standard. Because you can point to like sincere fears that people who disagree with Hutch have, and that's there as well.
Do you think? You realize people see it as just more than one thing, right?
I know.
I think like you're. I feel like you're looking too narrowly. At this.
Yes. I totally acknowledge. Let me answer your question.
People look at your chat.
There's an ad hoc rule that they invent, and then anytime I disprove that rule, they add new conditions to it, as though, oh, do you think there's a difference? And it's all post hoc. That's what you have to do. Give me the rule ahead of time.
Instead of talking to them, I can tell you what I was just going to say instead.
Okay.
When people see you now, let's say you talk to the Vanguard and you have a conversation, and maybe some people don't think you pushed back too hard. If that was the only thing that anybody saw, do you think they'd still be having the same reaction?
I'm not sure. Probably not. But I don't know.
Probably not exactly. But if it's that plus your chat room seems to be filled with a bunch of people from a lot of anti-fan communities, people who are obviously tankies on top of that, and then you always in your podcast, your Lib and Learn podcast, seem to be going harder on people that are on your side. People are going to take all of those together.
No way.
And say, hey.
Wait,
how does that not make sense?
No,
how does that not make sense?
It makes sense if you're being fed a pack of lies that this is because I want to encourage tankyism, socialism.
I don't think you want to encourage it.
No, of course, because that would be ridiculous, right?
No one said that. Nobody said that. You're talking to me. Remember, you're talking to me. I don't want to I don't want you to fight your ghost or the people out in chat when it's just me and you talking, because I think that you are a base liberal. That's all that you are in my mind.
I 100% am.
Yeah, exactly. However, you could be a base liberal and you could be doing a new job, right? Because streaming for you is a new job. You were a lawyer before. You're obviously a very smart person. Well, obviously, yeah, you didn't get this. Sorry. You were practicing law before, I assume.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. And now you're doing a new job. And it's possible. This is a very real possibility. And this is honestly what I think is happening. And it's what kind of sucks watching this whole fight going on between everybody. Because I think that you are a base liberal. And I also think that for better or worse, just like me, you're a little stubborn sometimes. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. And sometimes, like me, if I get a position, I'm a big hockey fan. When there's a draft and my team drafts a player and I'm like, oh, this person's going to be good. Even when they're fucking dog shit, I'm still convincing myself that this guy's still going to be good because I dig my heels in. And I feel like sometimes you do that when it comes to
what issue have I dug my heels in? That's absurd.
Because when you're saying like my chat isn't as bad, I don't have tanky audiences in my chat. I don't think they're infesting Lib and Learn.
I didn't say that I don't have tankies in my chat.
But when people see you not do anything about them, let them fester.
I don't ban people because they're tankies. Should I?
I think that's what people have a disagreement.
Can you give a fucking dude, we're talking to me? Answer my question. Should I ban people who are communists and tankies on that basis?
Yes.
Yes. I don't agree.
Because online, tankies and communists, all they do, because they don't have any real world power, they have no political movement outside of the internet. So all they do all day is going around into different chat rooms, infecting them just like a fucking virus. And think about Reddit today. How many subreddits have completely been overrun and taken over by fucking far lefties?
How many? I have
Public Freakout is gone. There's a dating one. I forget. Faux Moi. Like online, so many online communities just get hijacked by these far lefty fucks.
I feel like you picked the worst example. I feel like subreddit, the stereotype for Reddit
or subreddit drama. Exactly. So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
But I don't know.
So when all these lefties are doing it.
Stop. You just said you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about right there. What I'm referencing is the stereotype of Redditors, which are like gentlemen liberals who believe in feminism.
No, then you're on the wrong subreddits. If you there are so many subreddits that have been completely taken over. Like Public Freakout, I believe, is one. There's all these new news websites or news subreddits that have to get created. I think World News was another one that got completely taken over.
And leftists?
You know that's the thing that leftists do online, right?
Communism on World News. I used to follow the World News stuff, and
hold on.
All the Ukraine. I used to every day doom scroll on the World News Ukraine thread, on the World News Gaza thread, and there was mixed opinions. And on the Ukraine stuff, overwhelming support for Ukraine.
We could save a lot of time here. Are you denying the fact that it is a method that the far left uses online is to get into as many communities as they can and slowly spread their message and slowly take them over? Do you deny that is happening?
I do not deny that lefties go into communities to spread their message and spread their ideology. You deny that liberals do this?
Yeah, but that's
do
good.
Do you deny that MAGA does this? Everyone does this
too. Yeah,
spread your ideas.
But the thing is, these communists, these communists, just like you said earlier, like Hasan, they wear these fucking skin suits and they try and convince everybody else, like, hey, all we want is Medicare for all, man. We just want to smoke some weed. We just want gay people to get married. But at the end of the day, when the fucking Vanguard,
you should be pretty pissed about this.
It's a fucking wall.
Then you should be pretty pissed about this.
No, again, because I already explained that to you.
Well, because you think tactically
I explained that to you because.
You think tactically?
Yeah, no, because there's ways that you make Hasan look really bad without mogging them, and Adam did that.
Well, hang on a second. He's being nice, right? He's being nice.
Yeah, and you can fucking kill someone with kindness.
So can't I have the same fucking benefit of the doubt that I'm trying to convince people, and that it does feel a little icky to me to ban people just because they disagree, whether they're MAGA or whether they're communists?
You can do whatever you want, but you just got to understand that people might judge you or might think that's a bad idea. They might think that that's a bad tactic.
Just like people might think it's what Adam is doing here is a bad idea, right?
Yeah, and they might.
But unlike
people allowed to have their opinions.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a difference, and that if I did this fucking thing with Hasan, which I wouldn't do, by the way, Adam gives in some insane concessions here. I think overall he did a good job. I really do. But he gave some insane concessions that I would never have given, and everyone fucking knows that too. I don't really judge you for not endorsing Kamala. When would those words ever leave my lips?
I don't know. I don't think they ever would.
And I wouldn't let him dodge.
But again. Do you think that everybody's critique of the way you've been handling your community? It's
bullshit lies. Do you think by snarkers, by people who are snarking me? Yes.
See, that's where I say
it's delusional shit.
Earlier
it's delusional shit.
Earlier when I said that sometimes, for better or worse, you're stubborn and you can dig your feet in. I think that's all this is.
Name a good faith criticism. What's a good faith criticism?
Of what?
Well, you're saying I should ban people ideologically because they're socialists and communists, and not have them in my chat.
Especially if they come in and they're constantly shit-libbing and shitting on Democrats and shitting on the left. Yes, spreading that message. If they're doing that in your community, you should kick them out.
Yeah. What if I want to convince them?
You could try, but some of them aren't. But after a while, you can't try for 3 or 4 years. And especially if you know these people, I'm going to bring up this name because it's the only name I know. I don't know if they've been doing it for this long, but this Ogre Boy, if he has been online for 6 years, for example, and he's been the same since then, all those 6 years, you can probably assume that he's only there to stir shit. Or if Z Squirrel came in, or
so
if
fucking
Bad
funny.
Empanada came in.
Because I absolutely would debate those people. If I had banned and ignored,
no, you can debate them. That's fine.
If I had banned and ignored Ogre Boy, we wouldn't have had these awesome moments where he's coming into my stream and I'm taking him to task because I would have banned him already.
You could still debate. You could still debate people that you don't allow
from
in
the
your
chat.
community.
I mean, this is so this is so post hoc. It's
it's community management 101, bro.
Okay, so ban them from the chat. Don't.
It
ban
depends
them
on
from
what
the
kind
Discord.
of chat you want to cultivate too, Pisco.
I want to cultivate open discourse that follows the rules. That's what I want to do.
So that's it.
I think that it was based when Elon unbanned a bunch of people from Twitter. I've never been in favor of this banning thing. I think it's cringe when Destiny gets banned from Twitch. I think it's cringe when we do all these these ban shit. I don't like it.
So the thing is, Pisco, I think that you understand the tactics that these lefties use online. I think it's obvious to anybody who's being honest with themselves. And maybe people think it's worse in your chat than it actually is. But I do think that anybody who is talking to you about this is coming to you in good faith because A, they see you as a valuable, strong lib creator that can be good and useful because you're on our side. And what annoys us is because these motherfuckers are in your community, all this shit that is happening right now is happening. If these motherfuckers weren't allowed in your community,
about? It hasn't
the conversation you had with Hutch yesterday,
where I'm decrying Hasan. What was your impression of that conversation with Hutch? Really, seriously,
that conversation. But from what I remember, again, what was yesterday? Friday, I was working.
Did you watch me or did you watch Destiny watch it?
I watched you. I was at the office.
Okay, that conversation.
I subscribed to your channel.
So understand this, right? Yeah. That conversation,
right there shows that you're not treating this conversation with me in good faith. Dude, I sub to you, bro.
I just asked the question because I know people who watch the shit from my stream, they get a different impression than the people who watch it through a third party lens.
Well, of course, yeah. If you have somebody else commentating on top, you're going to get a
for example, impression. This isn't a real debate. It's not really a fucking debate. It's not even a real debate. He knows all this. It's all bad faith. Like, there's no part of that conversation that was bad faith. Not only did I let him ask me anything he wanted, totally open. Yes. I wasn't doing Socratic against him.
It was a calm conversation.
And I was like, I was treating him well and with kind and gentleness. And do you know how that is taken? And I said, Hasan is mostly bad faith. You don't get any credit for doing those kinds of things.
I can't remember specifics.
I was sweeping. That's what I was thinking of.
I can't remember specifics from the conversation, like what the exact topic was, but I can remember Hutch like almost like feeling exasperated how he felt like he wasn't getting through to you. And I think that Hutch is a good faith actor. I think he is like probably one of the most good faither actors online, really. And I think that his goal is kind of what we all want to do as well, to make sure the Republican never wins again and to build a strong Democratic coalition together. I think he's incredibly good faith, and I think he's incredibly fair. But Hutch, in that conversation, it looked to me that he felt like not necessarily unsatisfied, but maybe that he wasn't being heard, or that he was explaining things to you. Let's say he explained something to you and you would say, "Oh, I don't understand how you see it that way." And that would make him feel incredulous. Like,
so you're talking about the reasonability point. I know exactly which point you're talking about. So he asked me,
so like I can't remember exactly.
I know, because I listen, right? Unlike other people in these conversations, I listen to them when they're talking. All right. So Hutch
So you don't think
asks
he
me,
was listening?
No, I'm not saying
Can we watch
listening.
this part? Can we watch this part?
Yeah, we 100% can. But I can I'll tell you what was happening, and then we can watch it. I'm not at all shying away from the thing itself.
No, I don't think you're shying away. Yeah.
So this is what happened, right? Hutch asked me, "Can you see from my perspective where I'm coming from?" I said, yes. Don't you think that's reasonable? No. Right? Because they're different questions. A question about whether or not I think something is reasonable, that has to do with my feelings about what I think is reasonable. If he asks, "Can't you see where I'm coming from? Can't you fathom my position given who I am?" That's a different question. That's asking, can't I understand his point of view? And of course I can understand it. But understanding it isn't granting that it's reasonable. And that's what's crucially, I think, was missed in that exchange, is that somehow there seemed to be a belief that merely from understanding his perspective, that means that I grant that it's reasonable. But I can understand a lot of perspectives that are not so reasonable, that are definitely not reasonable, that are reasonable. Understanding of side, understanding where someone's coming from isn't the same thing as understanding that it's reasonable. And that was a miscommunication. I'm not sure if you understood me there, but yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah, and it could have very well been a miscommunication. But the fact that conversation had to take place means that there's been these feelings festering for more than just yesterday.
No, because the intent is not to understand. And is aimed as though I'm intentionally trying to like fuck with Hutch, which is.
I don't. At least I don't feel that way. No. You excited for the snow tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. It was a little colder of a winter than I expected. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, especially like the cold snap we just got over. Like,
yeah.
What am I doing this prime cut?
Oh, here you go.
You're clip farming. That is what you're doing.
I'm not trying to clip farm.
You're missing the point. Is it not reasonable for me, because you know that I'm consistent in these things? Like, you should know that about me by now, that I do consistently value these things. Like, I'm not kidding when I say that, right? So like,
can you go back?
Why would you jump to?
I just want to make sure I know what that is. Sorry.
Go back.
Sorry, I don't mean to be.
Liberal that really values like we could go into the minutia of like liberalism. But basically, we're talking about a system that was devised to be a bulwark against a concentration of power, against like the various monarchies. You know, it was a principle of democracy, and all the values that spring from that are things that
Nodding in agreement.
think are really important in terms of maintaining this order. Things like the rule of law and free speech and the ability to, form political parties if you want to do that and criticize the government and, individual rights and free markets and these kinds of things. And when I was telling you that even if you put a preposterous hypothetical in front of me, it's really difficult for me to ever entertain the idea of giving a liberal Marxist-Leninist who believes.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going back to like the would you vote for Epstein or?
I think it's Hasan. I think it's Hasan versus
or Hasan.
Vance
Yeah, okay, but that
Hasan versus
comment,
Epstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Believes in a uniparty, the presidency. You interpreted that to you interpreted that to be.
That's your view. You should have granted it. If that was your view, you should have been like, yeah, of course I vote for Epstein over Hasan.
You're doing it right now. Don't you see that? I feel like you're trying to trap me in an Epstein thing, bro. You're distracting it. It doesn't matter. The particulars don't matter.
Here I'm saying like you don't even have to answer that question. I'm just like asking if this is your view about the nature of democracy. It's a worthwhile question to ask. Well, then why isn't this easy for you to grant, given that it was easy to grant and that was the basis for the Epstein over JD Vance initial initial position from Hutchie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying here is I'm not even pushing you, but like that's why I'm interpreting it that way.
Whoever his opposition is, it doesn't matter. If you tell me that my choices are a Marxist-Leninist tanky who wants to end liberal democracy and anyone you can think of, do you not think that it's like
it's a layup for you?
Do you not think that it is?
And that's me saying it's a layup, right? It's a layup because if that is your maximal concern and you grant Hasan is like that, then that presumably is why you picked Epstein over JD Vance and why you would pick Epstein over Hasan. That's why I say it's a layup. Mm-hmm. That's not me being bad faith. I'm saying clear.
No, but you're doing the prime Kais, Pisco. That's what you're doing. You're clip farming. That is what you're doing.
I'm not trying to clip
You're
farm.
missing the point. Is it not reasonable for me, because you know that I'm consistent in these things? Like, you should know that about me by now.
Is it not reasonable for me? So that's the question, is reasonability. Now, asking reasonability is asking my take. Agreed? It's asking whether I think it's reasonable.
Yes.
Okay. So if I think it's unreasonable, I can't lie and say I think it's reasonable, right?
And what did you think was unreasonable?
Well, no, we're going to keep going, but I think it's unreasonable for it to be a hard question. I think it's unreasonable for that to be.
I think possibly one of the way it might be with like a hard question, just trying to steel man Hutch's position. Like, everybody knows that JD Vance is basically a fascist, and voting for anybody over JD Vance, that's easy. I think it's maybe from Hutch's perspective, he's thinking long term, what's going to get clipped. A lot of people that see Hasan don't necessarily, because he wears his skin suit, know that he's a Marxist-Leninist. So they're going to hear Hutch say, hey, would you rather vote for a liberal, because that's what Hasan likes to portray himself to normies, or a pedophile? And that would make it look bad for Hutch if that got clipped.
Do you understand? Do you understand
that's where he's coming from?
Do you understand that if I assume that, and by the way, that's not Hutch's position. He says at the end of this, I don't know what I would say. So his position right now is he doesn't know.
I'm strawmanning him.
But if I were to assume that he was unwilling to answer because of optics, that would be ascribing bad faith. Agreed? If I assume that. I said, oh, the reason he's not answering is because even though that's the answer, it looks bad for him. That would be bad faith.
Who would be bad faith? And who?
I would be ascribing to him bad faith. If I just like let it go because I know I really know the answer. And so me doing this, the only reason he's not answering the way I know he would is because of the optics.
But you know why you know why he would answer it that way. Other people watching out in the world won't.
No, being good faith means believing them when they tell you this, right? Believing Hutch.
Yeah, he believes you, but he's not going to. But he's he's not worried about you believing him.
We're talking about my good faith. We're talking about am I good faith or bad faith, right? Mm-hmm. Being good faith in a conversation is someone tells you something sincerely and believing them. That's what it means to be good faith. Mm-hmm. Among other things, that's at least one core part of being good faith is believing them when they tell you something. And so when he says. When you say you should assume the reason he's not answering is because it would look bad, that would
I'm not saying you should have assumed that. That might have been what he was thinking. And maybe that's what you guys were trying to communicate.
Right? He's dodging because it looks bad.
Well, I don't think that. See, now calling it dodging, I think that's a little.
What else would you call it?
I think it's just called make optics. Having good optics and making.
If Hasan did this shit, you guys would wait. If Hasan did this shit, you would call it dodging in bad faith.
Because I believe I view Hutch as a good actor, as a good faith actor, and I view Hasan as a bad faith actor. I don't give them the same level of charitability.
So when Hutch dodges, it's good.
Like I think
and when Hasan dodges, it's bad.
No,
faith.
and this is where you're starting to get a little bad faith because he's
Why?
not dodging to dodge. Because why do you think he'd be afraid of that clip floating around?
I don't know, because he was willing to go.
That is
no. I literally don't know, because he already granted that he would do Epstein over JD Vance. I have no reason why.
I already explained this.
He was already clipped on the Epstein versus JD Vance.
Yeah, and that is easy to understand. And he even explained it himself. He's a fascist. Everybody knows JD Vance is a fascist, so everybody would understand what I'm saying. He'd be more easily able to defend that in the end. But because of Hasan's skin suit and him being a sleazy little fuck, a lot of people, unfortunately, just think he's a hip liberal who just wants to give everyone free health care. So then they're going to see Hutch saying he'd rather vote for a pedophile than just a guy who wants to get Medicare for all passed. Because everybody sees Vance as a fascist, but not everybody sees Hasan as a Marxist-Leninist.
But withholding his actual opinion, you're saying it's justified because...
I'm not saying if it's justified or if it's right or it's wrong. I'm explaining to you what he might have been thinking. All I was trying to do is steel man what his position might have been. Well, but it seems like that you're trying to figure out like to pin him down claiming being either bad face or weaselly.
No. My whole purpose in the conversation was to understand why he wasn't answering the question. And after a certain while, like, it does feel like dodging. Now, maybe there's a good justification for dodging in that context, but Hutch doesn't strike me as someone who would be like disincentivized from saying something really horrible about Hasan, or of being like...
He could say something horrible about Hasan, but he's like, not everybody knows all about Hasan. They don't know his skin suit.
That hasn't stopped him from alleging that Hasan is like on the same terms as Nag in the first place. And presumably,
but that's true.
It's like a
special. He believes that to be true,
okay.
But not everybody else. Not everybody else. He's talking about the broader audience, the people that don't know Hutch.
But the
people
specific
that don't know
Epstein,
Hasan.
The Epstein aspect of it raises other concerns regarding the unhingedness of proposing that hypothetical that isn't shown by
like. Wouldn't it have been better if you said like
MAGA.
Hasan or JD Vance?
We started that, and he said I would shoot myself. He didn't answer.
Oh, that's true.
He refused.
Wait, no, I would do the same thing, but
really,
actually, no. I would wait. Would you have Would you have accepted the answer of I would have been a partisan in the streets?
I don't know. I wouldn't have accepted by. You mean just let it go? No.
No, I would have been like I would like because if I'm thinking back, like let's say like I lived in Poland and it got split in World War II. And on one side of the street, it was, you got to go live with Hitler. Or on the other side of the street, you have to go live in Stalin. I'd be like, well, shit, I'm going to live in the sewers with this rusty gun. And whatever may be, may be. I feel like that's honestly a realistic answer. There's a lot of people that actually ended up making that decision. So, yeah, it's hard when it's like literally, hey, do you want to just destroy democracy with like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? It's all the same. Like it's the end of liberal democracy. I don't want to participate in that society. I'd rather be like get my beret on and go have fun.
Okay, but you can't assume that I'm going to ascribe that kind of position to Hutch, because Hutch's whole thing is he doesn't care, basically, as long as there's some difference. He's going to suggest to vote for the harm reduction. That's like his whole thing. Why would I
but in that situation, there is no harm
to...
reduction because they're both lead to the end of liberal democracy.
Then they should have the same result in terms of Epstein, and then he should say Epstein over Hasan.
But you
understand the problem? It's a logical problem.
Why can you repeat my thing back to me?
Yeah, hang on. So you're like, I can imagine in Poland or in these other societies.
No. Why Hutch was afraid of was easily able to say Epstein versus JD Vance, but not as easy.
Even though he knows the answer, even though he knows the answer, that the intuitive notion for most people, including, by the way, every other person on the panel, including IRI, Soypill, me, and Jose, that the intuitive notion for most people on the left, including most Democrats, is that Hasan is preferable to JD Vance, and therefore they will see the Epstein over Hasan comment as more extreme or unhinged than Epstein over JD Vance comment. Right?
That's not what I said.
That wasn't the thrust of what you said?
No, because mine was that people explicitly not in that conversation, the people that Hasan has convinced he's a normal liberal, the people in the fucking New York Times and all these fucking puff pieces that he's getting. Like Hasan's goal, his stated goal is to temper down his extremism when he's in front of normies. So he's able to get people to come watch his show and slowly turn them more radical. Hasan if Hasan had his way perfectly, everybody outside of his channel, out of his Twitch chat, would look at him as just a liberal who wants, or a far left liberal who wants everyone to have free healthcare and maybe free school and all that kind of shit. When in reality,
because of shit like what Mockler did,
Leninist.
right? Because of what Mockler did, people like that.
Okay.
Like for example, people like
I feel like you know exactly what this is. This is the frustrating part. All I was doing is giving a steel man to Hutch of why he might have felt that way. And instead of trying to understand what I'm saying, you're just trying to either like
no, I'm not. No,
over to something else. Because I feel that what I'm saying makes complete sense.
My answer to you, obviously, my answer to you was inclusive of people. Not just I didn't just say people on the panel. I said normal left wing people, including people on the panel. And so you're like,
they will think.
No, stop. You said I was wrong, right? You said I was wrong, that I didn't capture the essence of what you said, because I was talking about people on the panel and you were speaking more broadly to left-wing people in general, except you just didn't hear my answer correctly, because my answer was most left-wing people, including the people on the panel. So it was inclusive of the group that you say that I excluded. That's why you weren't listening. My answer was responsive to what your point was. No, you said, you got it wrong.
You didn't get
I absolutely did. I absolutely did.
No, because you missed the part where everybody out there thinks he's a normal liberal. You missed that part. No. You didn't include that in your answer at all.
Okay.
All the normies think he's a liberal.
I didn't characterize what most people think of him as. I only characterize him in relation to JD Vance. And so if I missed that, I'm sorry. If I missed the characterization aspect.
Yeah, but that's the crux of it, bro.
No, it's not the crux of it. The crux is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right. It's the crux of it. All right. I'm wrong.
This is why
I'm wrong. It's the crux of it. All right. I'm wrong. It's the crux of it. I missed the total crux of it. It wasn't that most left-leaning people would think that he's better than JD Vance. It's that most left-leaning people would think that he's a liberal, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry I got that wrong. I concede I got that wrong. I'm not even going to go back and check.
It's okay. But that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, maybe that's why he did that. Maybe that's why he said that. Maybe that's why he delayed a little bit in answering that question. But instead of trying to get that answer out of him, instead of trying to have a fucking conversation with him, you went into debate mode.
No, the thing is, though, you're completely wrong, right?
How so?
Because Hutch says in this conversation he doesn't know the answer. So it wasn't because he was withholding anything. You're wrong.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Again, I was steel manning. I didn't say this is why, bro.
It's not steel manning. You're calling him bad faith.
What?
Calling him bad faith.
How?
You're saying
I literally said I'm steel. When this entire conversation started, I said I am steel manning him. Rewind the VOD if you don't believe me, I said it.
I'm saying it feels like you feel like you're steel manning him, but you're not. Yeah. What you're saying is
I was trying to give a possible explanation of why he said that. So if you want to keep watching, so you can show me what happens. But I don't think I will. I'm not calling him bad faith on something based off your word because I don't trusting it right now.
I'm not saying that he's bad faith. I'm saying you're saying he's bad faith. You don't realize it. You're saying that he is so self-aware about optics, so self-aware about how he's perceived, that he would withhold genuine criticism of Hasan's anti-liberalness in virtue of this hypothetical for optics to not seem so unhinged.
With you in a conversation with you, yes.
Yes, I mean that's him withholding his opinion because he doesn't want to seem unhinged.
I don't think that makes somebody bad faith.
What else would you call it?
This is supposed to be a conversation between two friends, bro. At least I thought it was.
You can be bad faith in a conversation between two friends.
If you're always trying to get into debate mode, then yeah, I guess so. No, but
I'm not saying Hutch is bad faith. You are.
No. All right.
You realize that's what you're doing?
No, and you're trying to get this instead of continuing to watch the VOD. You're just trying to hammer on this point because you think it looks good for some reason. No. I do not believe.
I'm not thinking about the broader context of you.
I don't need you to tell me what I think about other people.
I'm not saying that you consciously think Hutch is bad faith. What I'm saying is,
Oh, so you think I'm retarded and I subconsciously do?
no. What I'm saying is, without realizing it, perhaps someone who dodges for the purpose of ingratiating themselves with an audience or preventing harmful effects,
or protecting themselves,
but by withholding their position and not being upfront about that, you could say something like, I don't want to answer that. I don't want to, because.
Oh, so without being upfront about it, without being upfront. So
I think that you can.
Here's a steel man. Here's a steel man.
I think that you
could he have just not gotten could he have just not gotten that out in this conversation?
He could say
those
something
words
like,
exactly.
I am unwilling to answer that question. Could say that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think
you're
whatever.
I think you're trying to scrape
but why,
something up here.
But why didn't he say that? But that's not his position, because his position.
I don't know,
isn't,
man. I wasn't there. And sometimes when you get into a conversation with something, you get 5 thoughts in your head and you can only get 2 out. Right? At least that's how I do. Maybe I might be more scatterbrained than your average person, but sometimes sometimes I'm in a conversation with somebody. I'm like, I got to hit 1, 2, 3, and it only hit 1 and 2. Because by the time I'm about to go hit number 3, we're on to a different topic. That could have happened.
Well, we can keep watching this part. It's basically me saying, hang on, we'll
that I do consistently. Is it not reasonable for me, because you know
he's asking me if it's reasonable,
that I'm consistent in these things? Like, you should know that about me by now, that I do consistently value these things. Like, I'm not kidding when I say that, right? So like, why would you jump to the conclusion that I was motivated by personal grievance with Hasan rather than, well, I don't know, I'm very hesitant to give a Marxist-Leninist the presidency. That's like pretty difficult for me. I would even entertain, reanimated Hitler or whoever you might think. Like, it might be a difficult choice. I mean, maybe not Hitler. That's a bad choice. Yeah. Hold on, let me get some water. Give me like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Sure, I've let her respond.
Basically,
it sounded like I said Hail H, but I didn't say it. I don't know why it sounded like that.
Speaking of grabbing water, do you actually mind real quick?
No, go for it.
All right, sorry, give me like 2 seconds. Sorry.
How are we doing, chat? Everyone behaving? By the way, if I find out that people are violating Rule 16 in Discord, they're all banned. So there. The conversation in Discord on VC, I'm not even in my Discord. You're not allowed to violate Rule 16. I want all mods enforcing Rule 16. That rule is in force. Ever not been. The chat, of course, is not subject to Rule 16 of the. It's not yet, unless it's a good idea. I'm not in a Discord. Private VC. Alan's on Twitter. I fear no man. But I'm having a conversation right now. Easy. You have a couple questions? Yeah, sure. I don't know how long your pass, but on deck, Mr. Otaku. Oh, we need to at some point move on from this. So I mean, hoping that I think the best strat, honestly. Who am I not like?
Bonjour.
Yo, what up? You good?
Yo, what up, dude?
What's good? What do you want to talk?
My wife fell asleep.
Your wife?
There's
a wife.
No, she fell asleep on the couch. It took a little longer than I thought. I mean, we can keep going about this. Like, the thing that, like, I fucking love you, Pisco. I'll let you. I'll even give you in let you in on a little something. You were the first person that ever like I worked with online in any kind of meaningful way. When I did that video for you, like I got a soft spot in your heart. I remember when I first had you speaking on Destiny's Man and you went into your piss mode. I was like, this motherfucker is so aggressive. He doesn't let any people talk. And I did not like you. But then you slowly gained on me. You warmed up on me, and you were like my favorite, like one of my favorite people that would come onto the Destiny stream. And I do think that you're a based fucking liberal. I do think you're a good guy. You seem like a nice guy, like from what I know about you, just watching you on stream. And it sucks watching like you and your friends kind of, get into this tiff. It's never fun to watch that. And it stinks because in a way, this is kind of what they do. And I'm not saying this is any fault of anybody on Lib and Learn, the far lefties, right? And I don't think this was their master plan or anything like that. I don't think they signaled you out and tried to do anything like this. But when I say that they get into communities and they fester like a virus, it can be in any numerous amount and so many different ways that could happen. And in the end, they just cause chaos against liberal circles. Like, us liberals are so much better than everybody else, and we know that. And that's why we want to make other people liberal too, so they can be better than everyone else as well. And it just sucks seeing like one of the few like actually good liberal shows online, podcasts, just like over the past month kind of delve into this nonsense of, oh, is Pisco doing his chat well enough, and then you responding in this back and forth.
It's a level of micromanagement though. Like it's actually insane. I mean, and absurd.
Can I ask? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Ask. Do you think that you could what is your your chat moderation like philosophy? I guess
is to not ban because of points of view, to ban largely for TOS and for other like
calling people names, being mean to people, not being mean. I'm not trying to say oh, this is girl's fat on screen. Yeah, like fuck you. I don't want you like judging people by their looks. Get out of here. That kind of shit.
Not even. I have
okay.
Maybe that's wrong, but like I don't ban people for insulting looks or anything. I don't ban people for that shit. If it's TOS, I'll ban it. But in general, I don't like to ban. I like people who disagree with me.
That's fair. Do you think that there's any credence to, or when like any credence to the argument when people say, hey, these lefty people come in and they sully these communities? Like, do you think there's any fact to that matter? Like,
that leftists come in and ruin communities.
Yeah, or like attempt to hijack communities in any way that they can, and that they're
I'm sure it's happened.
Destructive force. Do you think they're on our side?
That's what you mean by our side.
Like, I
just want to know what you're asking.
No, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say, I'm trying to think of an example. I was going to say Josh Shapiro, but it's a bad example. What's that Tellerico guy from Texas?
James Tellerico.
Let's say that he wins the nomination for presidency. Like, do you think that the far left will support him?
By and large.
In the way that we wish that they would, in the way that we wish they did for Kamala.
I don't know. I think Tellerico has been more outspoken on Gaza, so perhaps.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. That's why I was trying to figure something like not God. Let's say they have a not perfect view on Gaza.
Yeah, what are you trying to ask? You're saying that they'll
like what I'm trying to ask is like I'm like in my mind, unfortunately, and it seems it's been that way since 2016. No matter who wins the Democratic primary, they're always going to find a reason not to support whoever the Democratic candidate
they
is.
Like Hasan specifically,
the far left. Yeah, and what I'll say this, I'll say Hasan as shorthand for the Kyle Kalinskis, the Crystal Balls, all the far left influencers and commentators online. They will always find a reason not to support the Democratic candidate when push comes to shove, even if it's against somebody like fucking Donald Trump or JD
I'm not
Vance.
convinced that's the truth. That's true for all these communities, and I certainly don't think it's true of their voters. I'm convinced that the left voters vote for the more left-wing candidate. Typically, that's a Democrat. That's what I think.
Do you think that do you think there's the far left ecosystem as a whole? Do you think they have the ability to suppress votes in some way?
If by ability you mean that it's possible to do, then
I'm just saying, like, they can sow apathy into their audience so that at the end of the day they do not go out and vote on election day.
Yes, they can do that.
And that alone is enough for me to not want to engage with these people or treat them with any kind of respect, because, like, I know if you look at the 2024 election, Trump won by 4 million votes or whatever it ended up being. However, in the swing states, it's like, 10,000 votes here, 13,000 votes there, 20,000 votes here. In a lot of these really important states that, if they had gone the other way, Kamala would be president. It's not that many votes. And even because these guys talk to millions and millions and millions of people, they only get 30 or 40 on their live streams. But you also have to remember that you have their fans who then take those clips and show it to their friends who might not be watching those streams.
Yeah, that's why I think it's really good to try to convince people in their audience who might be on the fence. And I think one way to do that is not to wholesale ban them from our communities all the time on the basis of their views. You think that's irrational for me to take that position? Hey, maybe a way to reach these people is to convince them, and maybe you don't convince them by doing a purge of all communists, or socialists, or perceived.
I can see that. I can see it. But
isn't that like kind of the approach that Mockler is taking here, where he's like trying to build a bridge? Come on, let's just be honest. He's building a bridge with Hasan. He's being nice to Hasan.
I think he was gentle. Trying to. I think the fact that he repeated the same questions 3 times and got Hasan to say 3 different answers.
Yeah, but he was nice and he gave him. He was nice and he gave him outs. He gave him outs. He didn't push the way I would have pushed. In many different instances.
You can do that, and you can do that. But
what I'm saying is,
push comes to shove.
What I'm saying is, it's not bad faith or shows that I'm a sleeper for Tankies that I don't ban them on the basis of their ideology. One of the reasons why I don't like to do that is because I like to debate them. And I feel like I own them sometimes. And I feel like I do well in those conversations.
No, you do. Yeah. The last time you talked to Ogre Boy, you fucking shit all over him.
Okay, but like, if I just ban them wholesale from the community, like, what does that accomplish?
And maybe if I said that you should ban them all the time right away at the beginning, I don't think I actually believe in that.
But you don't debate them in your chat, says this dipshit. Of course I debate them in the chat. Maybe you don't tune into the stream enough.
But
I pull out I have this system that lets me pull up fucking messages, and all the time I yell at lefties in the chat. Anyone who's here regularly will see me do that. No, you don't. Okay, nice troll. But no, like I do that.
One guy.
And I don't just do it for them. I do it for MAGA.
There was like a chatter in your chat. Now, again, this is weird, but like sometimes I do think there's like obvious examples where it's like, ooh, someone has this. You should probably just ban this person right away. And that includes not only just commies and stuff like that, but like, snarkers of other communities.
There you go. That's it. That's it,
what?
Right? That's the real issue.
It could be both. No. Why would you think I give a shit about that?
Why do you give a shit? Like, if I take the view,
I'm not a streamer.
Appealing to communists and appealing to socialists or Hasan viewers, it actually makes more sense not to ban them from a stream. Maybe that's engaging them is better.
Do you think they should ban them right away, or do you think they should ban the people that have been that have been over time saying the same things, constantly shitting on liberals in your chat?
I don't know.
Building a community in your chat of
I don't know that anyone has ever made a distinction between constant and versus do it one time. I've never heard that.
The people that come in, like Overboy comes in every day shitting on liberals.
Yeah, and guess what? I have a very nice set of conversations that I've had with him where I push back on it, and
there could be a world where in a year and a half, your community is 40% Tankies and 60% liberals.
I don't even know, like, if that were the case, are you suggesting that I would be corrupted and I would like start
No, I would just say it would just be then another place where we have a chat room with a liberal streamer, a base liberal streamer whose entire audience is doing infighting all the time, and we're fighting and we're trying to like give a home to these fucking arsonists. Like these guys have bed bugs all over them, and we're just letting them in, and we're wondering why we're itching.
Like Mockler is.
No, I don't think that.
Oh,
I think Mockler did a very good job making Hasan look fucking stupid.
Like I do with Ogre, right?
Yeah, but again, if Mockler was, I don't think that Hasan would allow, because he's not dumb, he wouldn't allow Mockler and his whole crew to be in his chat.
You think that if
because he knows, even Hasan knows that if he let too many based ass liberals in his chat, that it would fuck with him. It would make his project less effective.
Then I think that's cringe of Hasan that he bans people ideologically. I don't agree with it.
It's honestly, unfortunately,
I think that's created an echo chamber, and I think
if you have remember like old V Bulletin, like those old web forums.
Okay, then you just do it because that is boring to me. I like people who disagree with me, and in fact, having only people who agree with me in the chat is boring, and it would inevitably lead to me just like disagreeing with libs all the time.
But you got to understand that people have a different view at this, and it seems that since these lefties are so fucking good at infiltrating all these communities all the time, that like when you see these communities are constantly shitting on liberals all the time, and then what happens at the end, you have them in your community hoping that you can turn them over, hopefully you can bring them on to our side, but then at the end of the day, no matter who the candidate is, they're going to vote third party, or they're just not going to vote
on that view.
Figure out something.
On that view, should Destiny ban every single person who's doing harsh critiques of me or no? I'm a base liberal. I'm supporting people who are voting for the candidate. This is lib on lib violence. So he should ban all those people, yes or no?
No, because he has a personal beef with you right now, I think. And that's probably taking
so that obviates, right? Because, of course, if there's a personal beef. If there's a personal beef.
Fucking being. Yeah, no shit.
No, but in terms of justification, you would say, personal beef obviates the constant harsh snark criticism of me.
Well, I think he would probably see that you like have a chatter in your chat a lot called Rose was 17, and he would probably look at that and be like, "Why would Pisco, someone who used to be my friend, not ban somebody like that from my chat room?" He might take that as like a personal, attack, not a personal attack. Attack's a strong word, but it's like, man, that doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah, but
like, this was my friend, and this guy. No, so this guy has this person in their chat.
Yeah, the position is that I should take a substantive view on an issue and set of issues where I have said, for reasons that sometimes even inure to Steven's benefit, that and also relate to ethics, that I would necessarily have to get involved there because I would have to take a view on that, right? In favor of Destiny, right?
If you still considered him a friend, right?
No, stop with this. Is that the case or not? Is the position that, well, because I am not venturing into this subject that is of the lawsuit and related issues for good reasons, for reasons that make sense, for reasons that are honorable and not dishonorable, for those reasons, among others, that I'm necessarily now subject to endless, infinite snark, even though I'm a base lib.
No, I don't think that's not what I said though.
Do you want me to ban people who are
you not snarky? Covering it is a good thing. You not like, I can understand your position. You're like, listen, it's a messy situation. It's going on to court, and I would imagine maybe. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if there's any kind of like ethical things that you shouldn't comment on ongoing cases. If that's a thing, that makes sense. I don't know, but like, you guys were friends at one point. You guys were about to do a show together in New York, and I think you not covering it and you not going into all the drama and like you reading all the documents when they come out, I think that's a good thing because, it's not your place. It's none of your business. But at the same time, if Destiny was to see somebody in his chat, in your chat called Rose was 17, he might look at that and be like, damn, why is he not deleting that person? That's kind of fucked up.
Oh, I understand. I understand he might think that, but the question is like, what do you think I should do?
I mean, probably just like, if any, like in that one scenario, probably ban somebody like that.
In other words, take a stance in favor of Destiny in the ongoing issues. That is what you want me to do. That is what you're...
I think that is taking a stance at a level that no one would judge you on. And I think that's a stance that most people would agree with.
Wait a second.
Because even if you want to remain neutral,
you don't even believe
the reason that chat is in there with that name is to imply that Destiny is a pedophile. So, do you believe Destiny is a pedophile?
So, I don't take a view on the issues and related to the, and you're not going to bait me.
No, I'm just I don't think you think that. I do not think you think that. I don't think you think Destiny's a pedophile.
I'm also not going to comment
that
on it. That
username is implying it.
Right. And so
but that username is implying it.
Right. So you understand the issue with me, taking a stance in terms of what I comment on and what I don't. And then
you can delete that person without commenting. You say, "Hey, I don't I don't allow accusations of people being pedophiles in my chat without evidence." And I don't like that kind of shit in my.
So for example, of Ethan Klein,
he was a friend of mine. I'm not commenting on his case. I'm not commenting on what's going on. But I'm not going to allow you to say, "Hey, this person's a pedophile."
So for example, Ethan Klein or Hasan or any such other, I'm to get involved in all these different disputes, and there's a new rule: no uncredible accusations.
Yeah, but I guess maybe you didn't have the relationship with those people that you did with Destiny. That's the difference.
Yeah, so
you're friends with him.
What you're proposing, right? What you're proposing is a sympathetic rule, a protective rule, a special rule for Destiny, correct? Yes?
You don't actually believe what you're saying right now, do you?
I do believe what I'm saying. I'm asking you a question.
Like, you think that this, in your mind, if you saw somebody who's like, what if they were making fun of his son? Would you allow that in your chat?
If they were making fun,
like Nathan, Destiny bad dad to Nathan, would you allow that in your chat?
I don't think that, any kind of accusation towards minors. I don't know that I would allow.
Well, that's what this is.
No, but that's not an accusation. That's not an accusation about a minor. That's like an accusation about the streamer.
I think it's one and the same. Honestly, I think that
it is. Wait, do you believe that?
This is like the probably the most blackpilling part of this conversation for me. I like in my mind.
What's blackpilling about this?
Because I think what I'm asking, or like the question I'm trying to pose is pretty simple. Like, you can not want to talk about them, you can not want to cover the case, you can do all that, but to have like basically a chatter in your community whose name is Destiny is a pedophile in so many words, and you saying like, oh, by banning that person means I would be commenting on the case. No. I don't think you believe that. That would just be someone say like, hey, I don't like you accusing former friends of mine. We might not even talk today, but
so we'll test it. If I ban this person, you think if I ban it, will all of the snarking of Pisco, you admit there is, right? Plenty.
Oh, sorry, you kind of cut out there.
Do you believe there's snarking of me going on?
Snarking of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If I ban this person, you think?
Wait, all I heard is if I ban this person, and then
do you think it'll stop?
No.
Oh, that's nothing.
But I don't think that you should ban that person
nothing to do
and hoping for something and hope for something in return. If I was in your position, I would do that because that was something I would want to do. I wouldn't expect anything in return.
You're half correct in the following way. Here's how you're correct. You're correct in the sense that none of this is about communism.
At this point, no, fuck no.
No, none of it. Absolutely zero of it. And the reason is,
then you've lost the plot, homie.
No, I'm telling you a total truth that none of it has to do. Absolutely none of it. My mic is cutting out. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Yeah, it was sorry.
Is that any better, folks? None of this has to do with fucking communism, and that was true back in the debate we had about Marxist-Leninism, right? This doesn't have to do because people can make reasonable decisions about what is the best way to influence a group of people. And no sane person thinks that I'm turning into a communist. That's an insane thing to say. Even in the areas
I don't think anyone's even saying that.
Then why would I be sweeping for them? For money?
To grow your audience? Because you think you might be able to change their opinions?
I
because you think you might be able to change their opinions?
If you think that the way to grow an audience is to, sometimes take stances, principally that happen to favor libs, and sometimes take stances that principally happen to favor communists sometimes, or socialists or whatever on the TSA thing, global entry thing. It's not. The best way to grow an audience is to pick a fucking lane. That's obviously the best way to pick this isn't helping me. I lose subs over this. Every time Hutch, by the way, it's usually not me bringing up these conflicts. Every time it's usually like Hutch bringing in lefties to talk to, which I'm fine with, because I'm just going to give my authentic take no matter what. And I'm just going to tell it how I see it. But it's not like I'm bringing in the lefties to like poison everybody. It's just I'm reacting and having a conversation with a real person. I don't think anyone thinks
you're doing that either.
Sure.
I think that people think that people like you, Pisco. Like, before everything happened, you were like, what? You were buddy of the year, right?
No, I don't think I ever. I did.
Well, you were like, you would be in contention for, right? Like, you were great. Like, everyone would say, let the pisser in, let him piss. Like, people.
Yeah. So what's changed? So have I changed? I haven't changed. You think I've changed? What have I changed on?
Honestly, I don't know much that you have changed on, to be honest.
Nothing.
But however, this community switched, and obviously Destiny's personal feelings, I'm not going to speak for them because I don't know them. But what I think is that you, and I might be wrong in this judgment or in my thought here, you might be trying extra hard to get out of his shadow. And I'm not trying to say this in like an insulting way or to me. Stop. Wait, let me just explain it, because I'm not honest to God, I'm not trying to be like, you don't want to be Pisco, the guy who used to be on Destiny's stream. And
no, I have
not tied to lawsuit, because you want to be your own man. And that makes sense, right?
I'm not embarrassed by my past. I'm not embarrassed. Like,
I'm not saying you're embarrassed by your
Destiny
past.
and I align more on politics. And of course it made sense that for us to be collaborating. There's a reason why I came to you to set this shit up. I'm not embarrassed by it, because what I thought I was doing was helping the country, helping, promote liberal values, and instead of what I think is more cringe kind of dead ender socialism on some channels. And so I'm not like embarrassed by that shit. Like that's not the case, right? I'm not trying to.
I wasn't saying embarrassed.
I don't go.
Embarrassed had nothing to do with it. It was more like nobody wants to. Like any guy in his own career doesn't want to be tied to somebody else who he was with in the beginning. And I think it's a natural thing.
Flaws and all. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like silly, especially because I don't go out of my way to critique Destiny or go attack him. It's the opposite.
Yeah,
you realize that, right? It's the opposite.
I don't think you do.
It's literally the opposite. So I get sent clips where it's like he's describing that I'm doing this for money. Oh, Pisco knows what he's doing right here. It's not even a real debate. Like, the reason I was doing that is because like it's the most malicious, obsessive, I might say, ascribing of malice to me. I'm not going out of my way to go disagree with him and want to go get under his shadow. That couldn't be farther from the truth.
Listen. He's probably really fucking all stressed out. Listen, I can't imagine what I would be going through, what I would be thinking of other people if I was in the middle of a crazy ass lawsuit. I'm not saying you did this. But if I had lost all of my friends or people that I thought were my friends and no one wanted to talk to me, and everybody at the very beginning, they thought I was like, they automatically assumed the other party, and they thought I was this monster. Like, I would be angry and suspicious and
attacking
me. I would be unleashed. I'd be lashing out at everybody, and I might perceive like certain actions in a certain way, whether that be right or wrong. And I feel like you have to understand that as well. No, like
I'm not going out of my way to antagonize him or DGG. I'm not doing that. I'm not going through my community and banning DGGers. There was a guy. There's a member of our community. Although keep in mind that DGG has a special rule in my community. No one else gets this except for Ethan Klein. no Destiny related drama on the Discord. Already a special protection. I'm sure there's no rule like that for Pisco in any Discord or community or whatever. Already special protection for them. But even putting that aside, there was a valued, I'm not even going to out them right now, but a valued member of the community who appeared on Destiny and was doing something really great, and we were all super encouraging and like proud of this person. And it's not like I'm going out of my way to be like, oh, you shouldn't interact. Like that's never, you know, I know that Hutch and Soy Pill and IRI and Josiah, have I said don't interact with Destiny? No. Instead, what has actually happened is a complete mischaracterization, which I can only take as bad faith for many different reasons, of my intention. That my intention is either money, to ingratiate myself with people, various different people, to mind fuck. Oh, he's mind fucking Hutch, my co-hosts, right? And
did Hutch say he felt mind fucked?
Yeah, a little bit, but as though that were my intent.
I'm sorry.
As though that were my intent, which of course it's not. Why would I want to do that?
I don't know, but like, why does he feel that way?
Suck up to socialists?
Why? There's a reason Hutch feels that way, dog.
Yeah, well, I think that it's possible that he thinks that I'm just trying to fuck with him at some elements. I think that I pressed him on the answer to that Epstein hypothetical or whatever. And so, you know, perhaps, but I don't think Hutch thinks that I'm sweeping for Tankies just to do it. What would explain my behavior with Ogre? You know, you don't get friends for being perceived as like biting the fence.
Easy target, dog. It's
no, dude. Well, but the thing is, I don't withhold criticism.
Ogre's
of Hasan.
half retarded, bro. Like,
do you think I withhold criticism of Hasan?
It's like punching a fat fart. What?
You think I withhold criticism of Hasan or any other lefty?
No.
I just don't understand it. Like, it really is to me.
Listen, I think it's.
You don't think that I'm doing this because you said I'm a base lib. You said I'm, it's sad because I'm like, I don't know, settling a lib podcast, even though that's not my goal. And usually when we're fighting, it's about the best way to implement liberal strategy, right? It's like, and most of the time, I just want to let you know, the majority of the panel agrees with me. You understand that, like, in all these discussions on the shutdown, on the nature of Chuck Schumer stepping down, on what we just did about the hypotheticals with Hasan versus other politicians in a hypothetical matchup, I'm in the majority of the panel, whether that was Josiah Econoboy or whether now it's IRI and Soy Pill, that I'm in the majority. And so that's another way that you know it's bad faith. Like, Josiah has the same opinion I do of Hasan Piker. The exact same. And no one says, well, he's covering up for Tankies when he expresses that opinion. No one. We had a discussion with Hutch and Josiah where we were just saying the same thing. All of the enmity is towards me. It doesn't make sense because it's not premised on these issues. These are just pretexts.
But if so many people have this feeling and so many people that you consider your friends have this feeling, do you think there's no like
mass psychosis? Like,
do you think that's just it's only mass psychosis
and lies? I mean, take the issue just of global entry, right? The global entry Hasan thing. That is a liberal issue, right? About viewpoint discrimination. And Destiny and I have an agreement.
People didn't think we think he
lied
about that.
No. I believe he lied too about some aspects of it. Mm-hmm. But Destiny and I agree. Yeah. I have the clip of him saying that he was likely because of things he said about Rick Scott, among other things. But at least on those base facts, there's an agreement. Now, there's an interpretive question about, well, if it were based on these statements or the Houthi interview or anything like that, if it were based on that, would that be problematic? But that's not a factual dispute. That's like a legal interpretive dispute. But that issue was used where I'm basically saying, yeah, the administration, which before has discriminated in the first term on global entry, and which has discriminated in this term on global entry for other people too, as well as every other aspect of immigration. They're checking social media accounts in the same month in which the Hasan deauthorization for global entry came down, all this stuff at the same time. That in that context, if I take a position, this is bad, I actually think it's, it was viewpoint discrimination. What the fuck? How is that communist sweeping? That's not me saying anything like that. The settler baby conversation was taken so out of context. Like, I'm basically calling Hasan deplorable for not condemning his friends, and I'm just saying he's not literally advocating for babies to be killed here. He's saying would be legally permissible, which he's wrong about, and that's wrong for its own sake. But it's no. Oh no, because he doesn't tell a lie. The lie would be that he's advocating for babies to be killed. That therefore I'm sleeping for Tankies, and I'm only watching that video because it was requested. Right. So the fact that I'm engaging with you right now, the fact that I bother to do like the probably easier thing to do is just to ignore all this. Like the easy thing for me to do would just be ban references to Destiny, ban references to Hasan for my chat, and focus on law and focus on lib stuff. Do what Josiah does.
Well,
that would be the easy way out.
I mean, would you be willing to speak with him?
I've already spoke with him 2 times. Of course I would be.
All right. Would you be like, let's bring him in. I think I saw him in the waiting room earlier.
Yeah, but like, do you think?
I mean, you've been asking a lot of questions. Like, I'm speaking as like an outsider, and he, like, you were asking me, why do you think he was calling you, or saying it was all about money?
Can we resolve at least? I'm happy to do it. I'm afraid of no man. Are you willing to grant that I'm not doing this because of communism, or because I'm sweeping for Tankies, or because I want to hurt Hutch, or because I want to make money?
I do not. I don't think you want to hurt
Hutch. I'll let you know.
Think
if I wanted to make money and maximize making money, I wouldn't do this. I left a job where I was making
how much, can I,
a lot of money. No, don't ask me
listen,
how much money.
I have seen you. I don't think you're
me.
doing it because of money. I don't think you've been doing it just because of money. But Doobie has given you a fuck shit.
Like $1,000. Or maybe at this point, overall, like $1,900. He's given more to Connor. You understand that?
Yeah. But
Doobie is banned from my Discord. Doobie is banned from my Discord. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't do this.
Like I said, I don't think it's all money. I don't know what it is. And I think you might just think that you're not doing anything wrong. You might have complete perfect intentions, but other people just think differently. It could just go all the way down to that. People have a different view of what's better, or what the better action would be. But
like the money thing just makes no sense. Like,
and I think that's a small part of it. But like, honestly, like, I never said it was about money. That's what Destiny said. So I would bring him up and talk with him about that.
I might just do that. But I think we're cool, right? I mean, do you have any problem with me?
No, I never had any problem with you. You were the one, like, hey man, when I first came in, I was like, hey man, why are you so hot?
I was doing a bit.
I know, but you said you weren't doing a bit.
That's part of the bit.
It's bits on bits on bits. No, of course I love you, Pisco. Like, I want you to be a huge streamer one day, bro. Like, you're entertaining, you're smart, you're funny. Like, fucking kill it. But like, I also think that when people maybe criticize you, it's coming from a place like it might be a little spicy.
It's
when
coming
they do
from
criticisms,
feelings.
but
It's emotional. I think it's emotional.
It's emotional because they like you.
Well, I don't know that they do.
I mean,
bro.
you guys were friends for a while, so unless all that was fake, unless all that was a bit too.
No, I mean, the sad part is, right? Like, here's a little secret, right? One way to totally make me pissed at DGG, to make me like angry, is to like lie about me. That's like a very easy way to get me to be like pissed at people who lie about me.
I got that. Yeah.
That is like probably not a good strategic move to like. I'll tell you who hasn't done that. The lefties. Now, because I'm principled, I'm not going to like become a lefty because they're nice to me. But the people who have lied to me aren't lefties. Not me.
Because they're trying to get in. They're fucking rats.
Well, and just in terms of strategy.
Weasel they're in.
But that's what I got to say, bro.
Fucks, they're slump. Oh, God, I hate those motherfuckers.
Yeah, but like, don't you want to convince them, bro? Like, don't you want to protect this country?
Those guys, they're lost. They're lost. They're lost. They're gone. It's like trying to convince MAGA. They're gone. They're gone.
Then what's Adam doing? Then what's Adam doing?
Adam who?
Mockler?
Oh, he's trying to get some of their audience, I guess. He's not going to convince Hasan, and it's good exposure for him. It's a fucking market move, bro.
Oh, he's grifting.
No, that's not one and the same. He wasn't pretending to be anybody else than what he wasn't.
Well, he's being nice to him.
Adam Mockler through and through.
If I did that, you know that
it seems I don't think I've ever seen Mockler go in super fucking hard. He's just a fucking kid.
You've never seen him going hard? Are you kidding?
Well, you know what I mean, dude. This is when I think you're being obtuse. You know exactly what I mean.
You're intentionally obtuse.
Honestly, I think a lot more would get done if I did. Maybe I'll even host a couples counseling. I could be the mediator.
Why?
Because sometimes you need somebody in the middle so you guys don't punch each other and spit in each other's face.
Well, here's the thing.
Guys don't go unhinged.
I'm in no mood to entertain like overtures of reconciliation of any kind. You understand?
Well, I'm not saying reconciliation, but the reason I asked it originally was because you had said you were asking me all these questions, like about what Destiny thinks. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck Destiny thinks. I'm not Destiny. That's why I said, hey, like if you have all these questions, like you should just bring him in.
I don't have all these questions. Like I know what's going on. It's anger, emotion. It doesn't have anything to do with
you can ask him instead of just assuming.
Yeah. He's not going to cop to that, obviously.
Well, let's just see.
Hey, brother. You good? How's the rest of your weekend looking like? You got shovels ready?
All right. Oh yeah, dude. And the salt. It's gonna be fun.
Hope the wife is okay. Are you doing like panels and shit?
I did a Wick one yesterday. Trying to get into it, but it's easier said than done. It went well, actually. I mean, it was against fucking Doobie and Prime, so it was a good first round.
Wish nothing but the best for you.
I love you, Pisco.
Dev. Hey, what up, brother?
Hey.
How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Not much, just chilling.
So, I've been listening to a bunch of this. I just have a few questions just to clarify some things, because I don't fully know what's going on. So during that debate, I did see the clip. Destiny said that Aaron was a Marxist-Leninist, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you said that she wasn't, and you called that a Destiny lie.
Correct.
Okay, what is Aaron then?
Aaron is communist.
Okay. I mean, earlier in this stream, you said she was a liberal. Did you just misspeak?
No, I think that she believes in freedoms. I understand liberalism to entail protections of liberties. I guess usually it implies protections from the state, and communism kind of entails a stateless society. But I think that she would round out some theory of rights and freedoms that would be enforced in the absence of a state, something like that. But she does believe in freedoms like freedom of speech, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't know that she doesn't believe in the state, but the liberties part of liberalism she believes.
I mean, she has said
say for private property.
Liberal,
if she has
explicitly like, I'm not a liberal.
Okay, then I will grant that if she takes liberalism to be a commitment to, some sort of state-backed system of freedoms and rights, then I'm assuming that's what she's talking about. When I use the term liberal as ascribed to her, what I'm suggesting is that she's dedicated to democratic processes, which she still believes in and advocates for, and for freedoms. That's all I mean.
Right. So would she be like an anarcho-communist then? Like what flavor of communist are we talking about here?
I think a flavor of communism which sees as its aspiration the abolishment of the state, the abolishment of private property, and the protection of civil liberties communally. That's how I understand it.
Man, that sounds like a bad idea.
Well, whether it's a good or a bad idea doesn't really relate to whether she's a Marxist-Leninist, agreed.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's the larger conversation of all anarchism ends up turning into some flavor of authoritarianism as soon as you realize.
You would agree that she's not a Marxist-Leninist, though?
So like,
you would agree she's not a Marxist-Leninist?
I don't think she'd want to be. I think if you gave her,
is she or is she not?
Power,
yes, is she a Marxist-Leninist?
Well, no, I'll tell you. I think if you gave her political power, she would have to be. But I don't think she wants to be.
Is she or is she not as it is now?
As it is right now, no.
Okay. Well, I was correct.
I think she would turn
so,
into one.
So just to be clear, I was correct when I said she wasn't Marxist-Leninist. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay. And
so
it was wrong.
Yeah, the way
it was wrong for usurp. It was wrong for usurp to suggest that all communists are Marxist-Leninists. Correct.
Oh yeah, that's obviously true. Yes.
Okay, that's obvious.
Yeah, all communists are not Marxist-Leninists.
And to pretend as though I didn't know, I wasn't aware that she was a communist.
So I think Destiny was wrong to say like, oh, she's an ML. I think that just wasn't what was in the clip.
Yeah.
I still think what she is bad, but not an ML.
Okay. So when you take a clip that doesn't show she's a Marxist-Leninist and says she's a communist and pretend as though I've been sort of rebutted, that's a lie, isn't it?
No.
Virtue.
I don't believe that Destiny was lying there. I don't
think he was ignorant.
I think he probably
I think he was ignorant.
I think he just misspoke. Yeah, I think so. That's what I personally believe.
I don't, because if he misspoke, he should own up to that, right? Say wouldn't that be the correct thing to do?
Sure. I mean, maybe Destiny's listening here. I don't know, but if he is, I would say, communism and Marxist-Leninism are not the same thing. It's very obvious that Straight Raid's a communist. It's very obvious her ideas are bad. We might even call them evil. But Marxist-Leninist, I don't think that she is. No.
Any other questions for me?
Yes, actually. I do want a little bit of clarification on the whole Rose was 17 debacle, because you said something along the lines of, you don't want to venture into the topic. If you ban this person, it would be taking a stand on this story. You don't want to take a stand on. No, I understand. Just hypothetically, like if Destiny had a chatter that was named, I don't know, Pisco raped Straight Raid, would you expect him to ban that person?
I wouldn't expect him to ban that person.
Really?
Currently?
Well, why? I mean, I think it's reasonable to expect him to ban that person. That's a crazy name.
Well, then the name itself might violate TOS. I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, wait.
Putting aside TOS
issues,
I mean moral issues.
Right,
I mean morally.
Right now, you think that he would ban that person?
I would hope so. If it were my community, I would.
Okay. I would ban someone.
I've had really, really bad disputes with other creators in the past, and I definitely ban them if it were me.
Okay, so you think that I should ban people who make allegations of pedophilia or whose names are pedophilic?
I mean, if they're allegations, yeah, especially if they're not founded, yeah.
Okay, so on that view, should I ban Destiny for making a pedophile allegation as to Ethan Klein?
Maybe you should. I don't know the story, to be honest.
I'm asking you.
I don't follow
if it
the
were the
comments.
case, so it's a conditional. If it were the case, you made it a baseless accusation of pedophilia,
then yes, you should.
Okay. I think
that's how I view it.
As I sit back and think, I think that there are probably some bullets that I'd bite in terms of moderation of certain names in my community. But I think that this particular name is asking me to venture into an issue which is like squarely in the heart of things which I think I have a commitment not to venture into. You think it's unprincipled for me to take the stand? Do you think I should ban this person because of their name?
Yes, you should. And in fact, the fact that their name keeps appearing on your stream on a topic that you've said yourself you don't want to talk about, I mean, they're still appearing there on your stream. They're in your VOD. They're in your videos. So
that's a good point.
That is, in a way, appearing there.
I said I won't talk about it. You think I should ban all mentions of it in my community?
Maybe, yeah. If you're going to take that kind of principled stance, then maybe that's the right thing to do.
That anything I don't talk about, my community shouldn't mention?
If it's going to be that inflammatory, I think so. That's pretty inflammatory.
I'm just wondering if I would apply this to other people. That's a point that I hadn't considered before, which is if I'm unwilling to discuss something, does it make sense to allow other people to discuss it in the chat? But it's there's a range of issues on which I probably would be unwilling to discuss certain allegations, words like Hasan, etc. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. It's consider. I haven't thought about that particular.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah, I just these are just things that I didn't quite know what was going on here, so I just wanted some clarifications on the books. Thanks for having me on.
No, that's good. Hey, thank you so much. And were you on the debate with Wick as well, with Usurp?
I don't know who Usurp is. I was on last night, but it was me, Destiny, and then two right wingers debating: is Trump a threat to free speech? And it was two like no name guys. No offense to them, because we couldn't get any right wingers to actually take up the other side. None of them wanted to debate it. I called in all the old right wingers who have hated me now for years because I apparently backstabbed them. None of them would show up to the debate, even though they had to have a big beef with me. They wouldn't fucking show up. So, oh well.
Got it. Well, I've had some trouble in similar circumstances. We had one about the Comey indictments, and they really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I think I was on that panel with you, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for.
Yeah.
We're good.
No, it was that one redheaded guy who was like kind of sick halfway through it, and he like apologized for how bad he was, and it's like, listen, man, you shouldn't have done this anyway.
It was a tough moment for them, but appreciate you and talk soon. All right, guys, ending the Twitch stream. Come on to YouTube. This kind of shit sucks, and it is precisely one of many reasons why, like, this style of content is not appealing to me, because there is just no good possible outcome. However, I'm a masochist, if anything, but don't expect me to linger on these kinds of topics. I've had my fill, and it is just absolutely toxic, insanely toxic. I think it's best if we focus on MAGA shit in the future, focus on Trump stuff. So it's not my going forward interest to continue to venture into the sake of completeness here. Back Destiny. Twitch chat is yo.
Whoa, hey, what's up, buddy?
Not much, dude. Just another day in America.
Another day in America. Firstly, I'm just curious, what type of communist do you think that Aaron is?
I'm not sure. Doesn't matter for Mel versus communist. It should be a particular type. Yeah.
Well, do you know what the most common type of communist is?
No.
What if 99% were Marxist-Leninists?
What if? I don't know. What's your point?
Well, if somebody said I'm a communist and 99% were MLs, and they didn't clarify another type of communism, wouldn't you assume that they're just an ML?
Not if they deny it.
Has she denied? She said, I'm not a Marxist-Leninist?
Yes.
So if somebody denies having a particular ideology, is that enough? If Nick Fuentes says, I'm not a neo-Nazi, does that mean they're not a neo-Nazi?
Unless I have a basis to
somebody's...
Unless I have a
okay,
basis
what is
to
the
mistrust
basis?
them.
How are you ascertaining what their political ideology is?
Unless I have a basis to mistrust them, if they show perspectives that are incompatible or are sort of credibly indicative of the ideology, perhaps I would doubt them. But if there's no reason to doubt, I just trust. Okay.
Do you think that Aaron believes that the capital class will ever willingly give up their power or capital?
The Convoy believe that. There could be democratic ways to achieve it. I think it's a little bit
why are we bringing up
fanciful.
Convoy? Hold on, let me repeat that question. I don't think you heard me.
I answered it.
Does Aaron believe that capital will willingly part with their power, with their wealth, with their capital.
I'm not sure.
Then how can you know if she's an ML or not?
Because I told you, just because I don't know the specific answer to that question, I assume people are telling me the truth unless I have a reason to believe otherwise, and unless there's like an overriding reason to doubt their identification. That unreasonable? Yes or no?
Are people generally forthcoming with radical or extreme ideologies, or are they generally a bit more kind of like concealing of them?
I think Erin is incredibly forthcoming. In fact, that's why she says she called herself a communist as opposed to a socialist.
When she called herself a communist as opposed to a socialist, what did she say alongside that? Didn't she mention that she thinks more people would be socialists, but why would they be shy about that?
Presumably because they think that the connotation of the term communism has baggage that more or less represents the reason, despite, very small differences in ideology. And that's more evidence, I think, that she's not a Marxist-Leninist, because she would encompass socialist ideologies, which in no sense Marxist-Leninist, under her term communist.
Do you think there's a greater chance that when she says that people might be not forthcoming about that, it's because she knows that it's a more radical or extremist ideology, because it almost always implies you are an ML, a tanky?
No.
Do you know a single other person in this space or on the internet that simply identifies as a communist with no other qualifiers?
No.
Okay. Because typically when people are flavors of like a Maoist or whatever, or a anarcho-communist, they usually say that. Nobody just says communist.
I'm not sure that no one says that.
Okay. I'm not aware of anybody, and you clearly aren't aware of anybody. I do believe that she thinks the capital will not willingly... I never said it doesn't mean that they don't exist, just that inductively, we can probably say that when somebody calls themselves a communist with no other qualifiers, generally speaking, they're an ML, unless we have really good reasons to believe otherwise, in virtue of the fact that most people call themselves communists are Marxist-Leninists. It's generally what they mean, especially when her reason for not interacting with any of these people online, the fact that you can't name a single person who calls himself a communist who is not an ML or who just calls himself a communist.
It sounds like you're making a generalization based on who you know
and who
you meet.
Aaron doesn't believe. Well, you don't even know Aaron's political beliefs, so I don't even know why you would bother to try to speak to them, right?
Well, I'm just saying,
you say yourself, you don't know if Aaron thinks that
your ideas about what evidence is required to show the 99% of communists are Marxist-Leninist doesn't really speak to me. It's like whoever you've talked to is the representative sample, I guess.
So I think if somebody doesn't think that the capital class will give up their capital and that a violent overthrow of them is necessary, these are things that Aaron believes in. You can ask her about this if you want. I'm pretty sure she'll say both of those things. Basically, that means you're a Marxist-Leninist. You think there has to be some kind of violent overthrow of the capital class. Their wealth has to be expropriated.
Would you consider a democratic overthrow of capital interests to be violent?
It could be. It depends on what you mean by overthrow there.
Well, I think that there could be people who advocate for the relinquishment of private property or capital via democratic means. I don't think that that's necessarily...
Yeah, but if the people aren't willing to give it up, then at some point you kind of have to, kill them or arrest them or take their stuff by force?
That would just, by definition, encompass any communist or socialist who didn't believe in 100% voluntary abolishment of private property. I don't think that that's how we use the term Marxist-Leninist to encompass even people who implement their solutions democratically through 80% approval.
How could you? What do you think they mean when they say that the police are the protectors of capital?
I think that they mean that the state is essential to protecting the interest of capital force.
Yeah, so the idea is that the capital class literally employs the police through the form of a state to protect their capital, their private property. You think that
if that's what you mean by violent overthrow?
So do you think that Aaron thinks that you could simply vote away the capital class?
I think that he might. I think that he would.
I think before you venture a strong opinion on what her beliefs are, you should probably find out the answer to that topic, because it's a pretty important topic.
You're making the case that she's a Marxist-Leninist, not a base to believe that.
That's fine, but that's because I've had a ton of conversations with her about this. The definition for communism that you're giving is literally like the wiki. Nobody believes this. When somebody says I'm a communist, they don't mean they believe in a stateless, moneyless society. Nobody actually says that or believes that. It's not even like a real thing. There's like kibbutzes in Israel. It's not a thing that people talk about.
So
right? You've never in your life heard somebody say, I'm a communist and I want to abolish the state and all paper money and go live on communes. Nobody really says that. That's not what communism means.
I'll ask the question. Have you heard people describe communism as the notion of a stateless, classless system? Have you heard that before?
People who aren't communist, yes.
Have you heard?
But nobody who is a communist describes it that way.
All
no.
right, so it is a common thing. It's a common meaning of the term communist, correct?
No.
Virtue of what is it not common?
Because nobody who is a communist describes themselves that way.
So the people within the group define what the group is in terms of our usage of terms?
Yeah, it's called the descriptive use of language. Welcome to politics. The people who are in the group define what the term is. Correct.
So Aaron defines
with that. Do you think that?
I do disagree.
Do you think that if everybody okay, so you think that
I take use to be meaning.
Everybody defines themselves. Well, use is meaning, but use of a group is typically right. If they all describe themselves as believing in a vanguard party and everything else, it would be kind of weird for people outside to say like,
Aaron
this
doesn't,
is what communism.
If that's
means.
your view. On your view, Aaron is not. She defines herself as not a Marxist-Leninist.
Well, she says she doesn't have the label, but you don't know any of her political beliefs.
I know that she doesn't advocate for a vanguard state. I know that she doesn't advocate for a violent overthrow for a republic.
Yeah, nobody does, but it's when you ask them questions about would the capital class ever willingly part with their capital, they'll say no. They'll say, would you be able to vote it away? They'll say no. Is it going to require some level of violent expropriation? They'll say probably yes. They'll say, what do you do morally if the capital class defends themselves with violence? You say, well, you have to be violent and take it over. This is the vanguard. This is the creation of the vanguard party.
Pisco, you got to end the Twitch stream.
Just how neo-Nazis won't say, like, yeah, I want to kill all the Jews or I want to get rid of all the minorities. Nobody usually comes out and says that openly.
Over. Folks, me, oh, it didn't end. How do I hard? Sorry, folks, I don't read the chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream and we'll restart. I have about 30 to 40. Stream is ending.